Welcome to Top Shelf Book Club, a Mighty Books podcast segment where my sister, Emily McDonald, and I, Ryan Oliver, discuss presumably quality books while indulging in some top shelf liquor. So listen for yourself while we judge books to see whether they earn the right to be rated top shelf. Well, hello, everyone.
Hi.
Emily's really into it right now. Can you tell?
I'm tired.
Welcome. I am too. Well, that's okay. We're all just so excited. We all have to pretend we're not exhausted from being alive. Just saying.
For real.
For real. But anyway,
For real.
welcome, y'all. Yes, y'all.
Y'all?
Humans, y'all. I'm not from the South, but I like to
We
say
are very much not from the South.
we're not Yankees. We're just Pacific Northwesterners who are rusting.
We're the Bigfoot people, I guess.
We are the Bigfoot people, which is kind of interesting because, well, first off, welcome to Top Shelf, guys. This is episode 3. It's interesting we talk about big feet. In this case, big ears.
Yes, very big ears.
What book are we reviewing and rating today, Emily?
We are reading BFG by Roald Dahl.
BFG. What does the BFG stand for?
It's the big friendly giant.
Okay, because that's not the word I was going to use. The F.
No, it's a different F word.
Big friendly giant.
Oh, yeah, that too.
I mean, he does.
He does indeed. He does indeed. I was cracking up at that part.
I was too. So we're here to talk about BFG. How awesome is that? I know it's great. I don't know why I'm like half singing, half not. I don't know what's wrong with me today.
I think it's just what we do when we're tired.
Probably.
I do the same thing. Yeah.
I'm tired. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, Chris keeps snoring and I just want to punch him in the sleep.
Who is?
Chris.
Oh, there you go. Punch him in his sleep.
Yeah, I tend to like just scratch his back to try to get him to wake up a little bit and like stop. But sometimes that doesn't work, so I do have to push him. And so he got up this morning and was like, "Did you have fun pushing me all night?" And I was like, "No, because I wanted to sleep and I couldn't because you were snoring." He was like, "Well, I couldn't sleep either because you were I was like, "No, you were sleeping just fine. Don't even complain right now. You were fine.
Just fine.
Just fine."
So to help with the sleepiness, or maybe it's to make it worse, what alcohol beverage do you have right now?
I have a sparkling rosé, and I haven't tried it before. It's actually pretty tasty.
Okay. Well, so now you have tried it. There you go.
I sure have. I've tried it twice now.
Ooh.
2 whole steps.
2 whole steps.
2 whole steps. You have one of my favorite beverages.
It's one of your favorites?
It is one of my favorites.
Yeah, I have one of mine now. I've traded in the whiskey for a little Di Serrano ginger ale.
So good.
It's so good. It just makes me want to melt into whatever seat or bed I'm in.
Your wife introduced me to it.
She's awesome. I'm not sure when we got introduced to it. I think her family, her folks showed us. And have you ever had an amaretto cake or amaretto ice cream?
No.
Oh man, that'll do it.
Me and ice cream aren't really buddies, so I don't usually get ice cream that often.
Okay, well, just get amaretto.
The cake sounds nice.
Get Di Serrano, man. Let's do it.
Di Serrano, man. Mom has some. I'll drink some when I'm down in Arizona.
Anyway, okay. Well, so BFG, big friendly giant. I want to change that to something else.
Well, it would flow a little better, I think, if it was something else.
I would use the F more like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, same. He's a big fucking giant.
All right, she said it.
I did.
It's no longer.
I ain't afraid.
It might be a kid's book. This ain't a kid's show.
No, because we drink alcohol, and that's not for children.
Facts. It's been a week, so I'm excited to get on here and chat and do a little BS and bantering and talking books. So I think that's exciting.
And I like seeing your Christmas tree in the background. I just took ours down yesterday.
I'm like, do we have a Christmas? Oh yeah, we still do. That's coming down.
I can see it. So yes, you do.
It's the little one for little children I have who aren't really little.
We just have the one. I have a fake one, but Chris refuses to take it down from the attic. So.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's decrucifying this week. And just for those who it's right now January, so it's when we're recording this.
Yes, so it's January 5th today.
Yeah.
Yesterday was Grandma's birthday.
I know. Well, it was a good day yesterday, actually.
Oh, it was not for me, so I'm glad it was for you.
It was busy. but I had a good day yesterday. I said happy birthday, Grandma, too. So maybe that's what it was.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know. It was luck of the draw. Who freaking knows?
Who knows?
But who knows? Anyway, this book by Roald
Yes.
Dahl
Yes.
is fabulous. Do you have any information on Mr. Roald Dahl, Ems?
I have about 3 minutes worth of information. I did there's a lot
Perfect.
out there on him.
Well,
Yeah.
the child man dude guy person.
Child
Um,
man dude guy. Yep.
yeah, I mean he was all of those at one point in time.
That's a fact.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He wrote such works as Charlie and the Chocolate Factory,
Yep.
I
George's Marvelous
believe.
Medicine.
Did he do oh my God, Pumpkin, the pumpkin, Great Pumpkin,
Oh,
Giant
James the
Pumpkin,
Giant Peach.
James and Giant Peach. Yeah,
I
that
think
one.
he did, yes. Yes,
That's a
he did
different.
in 1961.
Wow, when was this book written?
Oh god, do I have that down? I might not.
Oh, we could ask the Oracle.
The Google.
Yeah, the Google. What does mother say? Mom says GTS.
The GTS it.
Google that
The
stuff.
first time
Or Google that shit.
she told me that, she was like, "Do you know what GTS it means?" And I was like, "No, mom. What does
Because
that
she
mean?"
made
She
it
was
up.
so excited.
Because
She did
she
not
made it
make it
up.
up. No,
It's
she did
her.
not.
She made it up.
No.
In my mind, she made it up.
I mean, she's forever 45 in my brain for literally no reason at all. So sure.
We have
Because
Forever
she'll
21 and Forever 45.
absolutely.
Mhm.
That'd be a nice store, right?
It would be. Just
It
be
actually
mom
would.
jeans everywhere. Is that what it
Hey,
is?
those are comfy. 1982.
Wow, really? Okay.
Yeah.
1982.
Yep.
Um, yeah.
My
So,
God.
okay, go ahead and
Okay.
tell us about Roald Dahl and BFG if whatever you have on the docket there, Ems.
I have many things. So
Mm.
Roald Dahl was born September 13th, 1916 in Wales.
Oh my
As
God.
a boy, he decided not to attend university and instead wanted to do a job that was going to take him to, quote, a wonderful faraway place. In 1933, he joined the Shell Company, which sent him to Mombasa in East Africa. World War II began in 1939, as we know, and
Yes.
he joined as a fighter pilot. During his time as a fighter pilot, he was seriously injured in a crash landing in Libya. He served with his squadron in Greece and in Syria before becoming an assistant air attache in Washington, D.C., where he
Attaché.
apparently served as a spy for the British government. While
Whoa.
there, I know. I was like, dang, this guy did a lot. While he was there, a novelist, C.S. Forrester, encouraged him to start writing short stories and start publishing them. He was just kind of like writing randomly. And this guy was like, you should probably do something with this. And he was like, oh, yeah, okay, whatever.
I find the best
So,
people, the best writers are like that. They just have great
yeah,
stories. And I don't really want to do anything with these, just want to write them down. That's what
right?
Andy Weir from The Martian did. He's like, yeah, I'll just put this out on the internet on a
That's
blog or something.
such a
And they're
good
like,
book and
don't do
movie.
that, put it out. And so now
Would
it's huge. So
get paid for it.
yeah, it did.
Um, he did.
Yeah.
So his first book was Gremlins, which he published in 1943 for Walt Disney. It was largely unsuccessful. He then wrote
Gremlins? He
Gremlins.
wrote them like don't feed them after midnight gremlins.
He at least wrote the book. I don't know if he had anything to do with the movie, but
I mean,
he
an
wrote the book in
inspiration.
1943.
Yeah, I didn't know
Um,
that.
yeah, and then he wrote a collection of stories titled Over to You 10 Stories of Flyers and Flying in 1946, which was influenced by his military service and also did not sell well.
Yeah.
He achieved bestseller status with his book Someone Like You in 1953, and this was followed by Kiss Kiss in 1959, which was focused on a stormy romantic relationship.
Huh.
And then next up was James and the Giant Peach in 1961, which he originally wrote for his own children,
Yeah.
and so it was then a success.
Was the Night Before
There's
Christmas was just for the kiddos.
yeah,
But someone took it and published it for him
that's a great
without
story.
without his permission.
That's not nice.
No, but thank you
um,
anyway.
yeah, right. So a bit of an interesting story behind Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which was published in 1964, the year Mom was born.
Creepy
His
ass thing, but anyway.
a little bit. His
Uh,
first moment of inspiration for it came when he was at boarding school, and a local chocolate factory invited pupils to trial new chocolate bars. And so 35 years later, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was published.
that's cool.
Yeah. While he did focus primarily on children's literature in his late career, he wrote a total of 16 children's stories, which have been translated into 68 different languages. He
Jesus.
did continue to publish short stories for adults, which were published in collections such as Switchblade in 1974, The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar and Six More in 1977, Tales of Unexpected in 1979. He also wrote several scripts for movies. You Only Live Twice in 1967. He wrote Chitty Chitty Bang Bang
Oh,
in
really?
1968, and he published an autobiography titled Boy Tales of Childhood in 1984. Near
Wow.
the end of his life, he was diagnosed with myelodysplastic syndrome, which is a rare cancer of the blood in which immature blood cells in the bone marrow do not mature or become healthy. So he passed away November 23rd of 1990 in Oxford, England. And at the end of his life, he was actually writing a third Charlie book titled Charlie Bucket and the White House, but he passed before he could finish it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and there was a bit of controversy around Roald having some anti-Semitic views and having some racial and sexual stereotypes in his stories, which have since
Oh,
been revised by his publishers. And
oh.
his estate also released an apology for the comments and views. But I mean, shit happens when you're in that time
He
in
was born in in 1916.
1960.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, I don't excuse that, but I mean,
no, but
you think of the times and
yeah. Well, it's like
yeah,
blackface was a thing and it's no longer a thing. So
no, unless
yeah,
you're a special forces person and you have our complexion, then it is okay under
different.
darkness because you're there
Yes,
not to die. Sorry,
yes,
I saw a comedian talk about that and it was hilarious.
that's
So
valid.
I
Very, very
am.
valid.
Okay, cool. So,
Yeah.
okay, now this is where we're going to initiate the spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Cover all your holes. It's a spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
BFG spoilers. If you've never read or watched the movie, because there was a movie that came out, yes,
I
back
should
in
have
what,
watched that.
2016, 2017, something like that. And actually,
Oh, I remember that. I
it
didn't
was
watch it.
really good. It was really good. But if you haven't heard it, this is your time to leave and run away. But if you just want to enjoy our conversation about it, we'll talk about the whole story today. So
Yes.
yes, so okay. The movie was really good. I will give it that. I wasn't sure how it was going to be, but it was pretty true to the actual book.
Oh, I love
I
that.
I think there's a couple details they left out. That's okay. That's normal.
Yeah.
Wasn't enough to wasn't enough to make it
Ruin the
too
story.
terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is my second time going through the book. How about you?
I probably read it at least once, probably twice when I was younger.
Hmm.
Um, I think we did a few Roald Dahl books in like elementary because I remember reading George's Marvelous Medicine in school.
I did that one
Uh,
too. Yeah.
I loved that book, but my memory, as I've stated, is absolute garbage. So I had all I remembered was that there was a big giant, and that was literally the extent of my memory.
That's the whole
So
story, guys. We're done.
that's
Take care.
that's it.
Signing off.
Goodbye.
There's a
Have a great day.
big effing giant.
Yep, that's all.
Yeah,
That's
and
all
yeah,
you need to know.
that's all
It
you need
was
to
a
know.
real
We're
big
done.
giant.
No more.
I didn't even
Uh,
remember the girl. I just remember the giant. I remember
yeah,
nothing
I know,
else.
right? So this is my second time. The first time I read it, was it around the time Lucas was born. Ash and I were talking about favorite books as kids.
Oh
My
yeah,
favorite book growing up was Mr. Popper's Penguins. Why? I don't know, but it's about a painter
latched
who
onto that
discovers
one.
loves Antarctica and penguins. So pretty cool.
Yeah,
And then she's like, I love the BFG. I'm like, the hell's the BFG? And she, of course, like verbally slapped me, and I, took my
obviously.
lickings, and then I had to read it, obviously.
Yeah.
So I read it and absolutely loved it. Um, it was actually really frustrating to read.
I found that for the first like couple of chapters, I think I told you I was like irritated almost because
No, you
it
didn't
didn't
tell me.
flow right. Oh, I thought I did. It
No,
like
now you
it
are.
didn't flow right in my I am. It didn't
No,
flow
it
right
did
in my
not.
brain.
Same.
And so I was like, God, is this going to be like too kiddie for me? Am I not going to like this book? Like, oh God, I remember loving it so much when I was
It's
younger.
not too kiddie. It's actually got some pretty kind of dark themes in it.
Oh, 1000. And that's why as I got more into it, I was like, I started just loving it again because you
Yeah,
get to know more of the BFG and you get to know more of all this. And
the whole
after I had done a
world and
bunch of
everything, the
research,
giant
yeah,
world.
on
Yeah,
the author, I
yeah.
was like, wow, this is so cool. And I forgot he did he actually has his own dictionary. He created over 259 words, most of which are used in BFG, and
No
BFG
way.
was his favorite book that he wrote.
So it shows it's so
Yeah.
tell you can tell. so well. I can speak. I'm not drunk at all yet, I swear. I'm
Nah,
just tired. It's been a long week.
I can't
Um,
speak when I'm sober. So
yeah, fair enough. I have to speak when I'm sober because I teach people.
I do
Anyway,
on the phones with people.
no, what's that? Yes, that's true. That's true. You do.
Yeah.
Um, but why we say it's so painful when you start is because there are, like you said, there's a lot of words that he just created. And it's because Mr. BFG, Mr. Big Friendly Giant, is not well educated. And I'm
He is
using
not.
fancy words now.
Yes.
And so he screws up his words and sentences, and it's kind of hilarious. It's irritating at first, but it's hilarious later.
Yeah.
What's really fun, and I'll tell you right now, if you don't want to deal with the confounding irritatedness that we went through originally, I listened to it the second time via audiobook, and I know I said the guy's name, but I suck. Also, my memory blows too.
Neil
Um,
Williams?
read by David Williams.
David, I was close.
Okay, I knew Williams. I forgot if I was like
I knew
Benedict.
it was a D for the first name.
Okay. Dingleberry Williams. David Williams, he did a fantastic job. I was laughing some of the times because of how he said some of the words.
Yeah, I'll have to
He
listen to it.
totally flip-flops a lot. And I've got a couple written down, but you gotta listen to it or read it to really get it or watch the movie. Do all three. It's really good. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, you want to get on it?
Yeah.
Start
Yeah,
this thing?
sure.
All right,
Chapter
so it
one is The Witching
opens.
Hour.
What's that?
So chapter one is The Witching
The
Hour.
Witching Hour. The Witching Hour. Yeah, I love it so much. Okay, so starting off The Witching Hour, chapter one. There's like 23 chapters here, 24 chapters, something like that.
24.
Mm. Okay, The Witching Hour starts off and ends what happens with The Witching Hour? What is the witching?
Um, so The Witching Hour, I actually wrote this down because I loved this sentence so much. The witching hour, somebody had once whispered to her, which is the child in the book, was a special moment in the middle of the night when every child and every grown up was in a deep, deep sleep, and all the dark things came out from hiding and had the world to themselves. And that passage just made me think of like being a kid when you do your first like all nighter and all of that kind of stuff, and just being so innocent and thinking like, oh, there's so many cool things that happen at like nothing does, but you're just like the possibilities that could be there are just insane.
It's true. Well, actually, you know what? I did the same thing, especially in the middle of the night when all the dark things come out. I wrote that too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you've ever gone camping, which I know I have, have you done some camping?
The last time I went camping was with dad.
Oh dear Lord, we were babies.
4. Yeah. I
Babies. Yeah, I
think I
was
was 4 or
11.
5.
Oh my God. Yeah, I've gone camping a lot. So
Yeah.
what I have found though, if in the middle of the night, certain animals will come out to just and you just start talking. I mean,
Mhm.
raccoons are out there, raccoons and possums, they're at least in Washington
Yeah.
state, there's a lot of nocturnal animals, and it still can be rather loud out there. And it kind of makes sense. And our minds play beautiful tricks on ourselves, when we're especially in the dark. You can't see
I
anything.
am I am one paranoid bitch, let me tell you.
I was more
Uh,
paranoid when I was a kid, and then as I got older, I learned to love the dark. I love the dark.
no, I was paranoid as a kid, especially with mom watching CSI and NCIS and Law and Order all the time. So I was super paranoid. And then I grew up and started listening to real murder stories. So now I am more paranoid.
So yeah, this was all self-induced. So you've screwed
Oh,
yourself over.
1000%.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
If I was listening to that stuff, yeah, I probably would be too. But I've learned to love the dark, mostly just because it's a way to kind of close out everything and almost meditate.
I love the dark when I'm at home and it's dark. I don't like the dark if I'm outside literally anywhere.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Unless
Yeah,
I
I would
have
say
like
similar.
someone with a weapon or something with them, then that's fine.
Just make it quick.
Still a little nervous, but
Just make it quick. That's all I say.
just make it quick.
Yeah, just make it quick. So okay, in the witching hour, we have little Sophie's in an orphanage
Yes.
for girls. It's a girls' orphanage, and she is not allowed out of bed because the
No.
lady who's in charge is kind of a, let's just be honest, she a
A little bit of
bitch.
a bitch.
She a
Yeah.
bitch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bitch. Locks the girls
Yeah.
in the cellars and such when they're being bad.
Which is just rude.
It is rude.
It's kids.
Yeah. But she looks out her window and sees a dark figure.
Which I think pretty much just leads you into chapter 2.
It does. They're very short, so
Yeah.
they're not very
Which
long.
I was fine with.
Yep.
Um, My first thought reading her description of BFG was this thing sounds scary as hell.
Yeah, it does. So if you haven't read or seen or looked around at a cover of the BFG, he is a 24-foot tall man who apparently is the runt of the litter.
Yep.
Yeah. And he has gigantic ears.
Yes.
Size of
Massive,
truck
massive
wheels,
ears.
big rig truck wheels, something like that.
I don't even, yeah, just, I mean,
Oh,
the
they're
pictures,
huge.
it's just flopping there.
Yeah, it's like twice the size of his head. It's
Yeah.
basically Dumbo. Like I feel like it's
Oh, I think Dumbo's a good explanation of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so what was funny was he's running around through was it London? No, it wasn't London. It was in her village,
Yeah,
her
it was in
small
her
village.
village. It was in England, but it
Yeah,
wasn't,
in
I don't think,
England.
London.
Right,
Yeah.
not London, but a small village.
Yes.
And he's walking around all tiptoeing like, being very quiet, surprisingly. She can't hear him fiddle farting around or whatever.
He's very
And
quiet.
yeah, it's very quiet.
Yes.
A big, large ninja, large, big ninja, whatever. Large, big, small ninja. I don't know.
Words. Yeah.
Words are hard.
Mm,
Uh,
very.
he's wearing a big old black cloak and holding a suitcase and looking into windows.
I was like, I don't know if we see his trumpet yet, but he has a trumpet too, or a trumpet shaped thing.
She gets scared and hides herself underneath the bed sheets is
Yeah.
what she ends up doing. But I
Which
mean,
same.
all this is like this whole scene is like 4 chapters.
Which it's insane. And I wrote down when she sees him, I'm like, this is like a literal nightmare for children. Like you're,
It is. The
in
cubs will
bed, all
protect
like
me.
that's which is funny. I hear that with like true crime and even like ghost stories. It's like, oh, I go under the covers and I'm fine when it's literally a sheet. Like it's not gonna do much in terms of protecting
Out of
you.
sight, out of mind. I've seen those memes or something where it's like you got this monster who, and then a person is he's over the child, and the kid pulls the covers over, and he's like, "Well, look at that. He's impervious to my scaring abilities." Or,
I love that.
or something like that. I can't
I
touch
mean,
him.
that's how it feels. You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
ha
I'm
ha,
safe now.
I
Out of
bested
sight,
you.
out of mind. Yeah.
Yes.
So we move right on to chapter 3. This is going to be a fairly short one. Not a, I mean, it's a good book, but it's quick.
So good.
It's a kid's
Yeah.
book. It's a kid's book. It's not supposed to be terribly long.
No.
She's under the blanket, and the giant's looking into the window, ends up snatching her. Actually, before that, he does pull out the trumpet, doesn't he?
Yes. Because I think that she sees him open his suitcase. I don't remember if he pulls out the trumpet from the suit. I think he does. But she sees him pull it out
He
and she sees
does.
him dump something in it and then stick it in a kid's window. And she was like, what is he doing? And then
Yeah.
he at some point sees her.
Sarin gas.
And that's when, yeah, right. Death. That's when she's
That got
like, oh
dark.
crap. It can get dark real quick.
Okay.
He sees her looking and she's like, oh crap. And that's when she was like, haha, I didn't look at anything. And he was like, nah, I saw you. And she was like, oh dang it.
Yeah.
So then he comes and gets her. And her first thought was just like acceptance. So like, well, all right, I guess he's gonna eat me. And I'm like, I don't know that that would be my first thought. Like, I feel like I'd be like, how do I get out of this? And I'm like, oh, well, it's my night. Like,
I guess it's my time to die. My parents went, might as well me go too.
it's my
Very,
turn.
very, when it's time, it's your time.
It was like, I mean, I've told Chris before, he'll be like, oh, you should check the date on that. And if it's like a day after, I'm like, I get sick, like whatever. Like, I'm like,
That's my thought with some of the foods too. I paid for it, might as well eat it. If it makes me
exactly.
sick, I get a reason to call out from work. That's kind of cool.
I probably don't, but that's fine.
You really want to be on the phones puking your guts out? Like that just
Oh,
sounds
if I'm throwing up, I'm not working. There ain't no way.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
That would be really good for me. And over here is I can't be teaching like that. That'd be terrible.
No, that would be a 0 out of 10.
For both the audience and the performer. Yeah.
For everybody involved.
Everybody involved.
Everybody.
So,
Okay.
yep. So he takes her and she's off. He puts her in his pocket of the
Yep.
cloak and
Yep.
just starts galloping across the countryside.
Yep. And apparently it's like he can fly kind of because
Well,
she's
he's
like,
got
I
those
don't think his
big
feet
fatty ears.
just there's wings. She's like, I don't think he's touching the ground right now. Like, I don't hear nothing, but he's going real fast.
Gliding, yeah. There's no gung 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 gung. It's just kind of a glide.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what.
Which reminds me of when Ashley was in Rainbow and they had to walk like they were gliding. That was
Yeah. Yeah.
that was like,
That was the whole point. That was
I
the whole
know.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to glide. I think, was it called gliding?
I don't
Floating. It
remember.
was called floating.
That's it.
Called floating, where it
Yep.
was like it took a lot of skill because you had to walk across the floor without bouncing or looking like you were stepping at all because the dress was so poofy and wide. They had to wear.
I tried it. I did not succeed.
Yeah, it took them a while. They started when they were 11
Yeah.
and they made their
Yeah.
work their way up to when they're 17, 18 years old, doing it for some number of years, practicing a lot. And it was pretty impressive when you had a group of girls who were floating across the floor. Like, whoa, where they have feet?
It was cool to watch.
Yeah, it was. The illusion was you couldn't see their feet at all because of the dress.
Yeah.
So like, oh, okay, that was kind of cool.
It was really cool.
It was cool. But yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think of that. All right, so we get to the point where Mr. BFG gets her into takes her to the cave.
Yeah.
And not Cave of Wonders either.
It is not. It is a different cave.
Actually, probably more of a Cave of Wonders than the real Cave of Wonders.
I would have to agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is when she sees just all of the jars everywhere and she's confused as to what's going on, if he's going to eat her or not. She still has, I don't think he said anything to her yet. She's just.
Yeah. Did he forget that she was there?
No.
No.
Because he takes her out of his pocket and he puts her on the table.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. She starts describing him, saying that it was of his talking about his huge ears and what the heck was this? Oh God. Okay. So he finally talks to her and they start chit-chatting and she's really worried about getting eaten.
Which is a valid fear.
Absolutely.
I would say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm gonna die. This guy's huge. And then he's like, oh God, no, I would never eat human beings. Not
I know. I love that. It's a human being.
Human beings. I still have the guy's voice in my head, and he sounds just like kind of Hagrid.
I need to listen to it.
He was like, oh, I don't eat any human beings. I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome.
I love that.
It was so good. And he's like, what did he say? He goes, basically, I don't eat human beings, but the other ones do. The other giants do. He goes, he says they're cannibal and murderful. Cannibal and murderful. So cannibals and murderers, essentially what he's saying. Yeah. So
I know there were some words where I was like, what does he? And then I'd have to like think about it and be like, oh yeah, it's that. Okay, got it.
I think that's why, because you're like, what freaking word is this? What does it mean?
I know after you've seen it a few times, you're like, oh, I got that one down.
It starts
but the first time it's like, this is what? What again?
You feel like you're learning to read again.
I know. That's why I remember reading this as a kid and loving it. It definitely takes some getting used to since it's been so long since I've read one of this author's books. It's super cute and I can see kids getting a kick out of it.
Oh, God, yeah. What was funny was when Ashley was telling me about this was her favorite book, I was telling her it was kind of frustrating to read. She goes, really? Yeah. I had no problem reading it. I said, did you really? She goes, yeah, I flew through this thing. It was one of the few books I could read really fast. I'm like, that seems strange to me. Well, turns out, and I knew this before, but she had struggled with reading when she was little. Mm-hmm. And since she reads like a freaking beast now. She'll go through 4 books. She does. When she was struggling to read, this was one that she could just get behind and loved it. So it was like, oh, okay, it's kind of cool. But I told her it was a really cool story. So I really enjoyed it. But
love the story.
Yes. And they start talking about the different giants, and he mentions the bone crunching giant.
Yeah.
Who eats people from Turkey because they taste like turkey.
I loved all of the different, like, oh, you eat them from this place because they taste like this. And then I don't remember what it was, but there was one where she was like, oh, obviously they eat them from there because they taste like this. And he was like, no. Like, dumb. Like, why would you think that? It's like, I'm not from here, my guy.
Stoppers or whatever the hell he says. I don't remember what he said, but there's a lot of weird words. Like he says, like, we don't go to Greece because those people taste greasy.
Gotta go to Greece then. You won't get eaten by giants.
Apparently people from Panama taste like hats. I don't
Yeah,
get that.
I didn't get that one either. So I'm glad you
No,
also didn't get that one.
no, I was really confused. I'm like, what do Washington State folks taste like? Starbucks?
Starbucks, probably.
Starbucks?
Dirt,
Okay. Tastes like
hiking.
Nirvana? I don't know. Smells like
What does
Teenage
Nirvana
Spirit?
taste like? Yeah, we've
Like
got a
Teenage
lot of
Spirit?
questions here.
Sorry, that was a bad joke. All humans tasted different depending on location.
Yeah,
People from Jersey tasted of Jerseys.
which also doesn't sound appealing.
No, but they're giants. They eat people. Oh,
I
this was a
kind of
weird
love
one.
that.
People from Denmark, so Danes, taste like, and she goes, well, it tastes like Great Danes, like
Yeah,
dogs. He's like, no,
that's
they
it.
taste like Labradors. He goes, what do the people from Labrador taste like? They taste like Danes. What? What?
That just reminded me of the Grinch when he's listing off all of the different, like a snoozle for a phone for your brother Stu, and a
Oh,
Funkle for your uncle, and a fan for your aunt, and then a Peppa for your cousin Leon. It's like
yeah.
what? Great. So apparently there is a Panama hat. It's a straw hat. I googled.
Oh,
It's
okay.
I don't know if you can see it.
I can't. Oh,
Yeah, a
okay.
hat.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, I
Okay.
gotta look it up. I can't. I should have looked
Okay.
it up earlier.
That's freaking hilarious. I love
One
it.
of my favorite words that he does is I wrote this in quotes. You think I is swizz figgling you?
That's
And I
Swiss
was like,
figgling.
I want to start a conversation using
Oh,
that.
you think I'm
Like
Swiss figgling you?
like someone thinks I'm lying. You think I is
You think
swizz
I'm Swiss
figgling you?
figgling you?
Like,
Okay.
excuse me?
Like,
How
come on.
dare you? Like
This is in the Oxford Dictionary, right? Of
it should
course
be.
I know my own. I know my words.
It's at least in Roald Dahl's dictionary.
Yeah, Roald Dahl's hilarious.
Yep.
Oh my God. We move right on to chapter 6, talking about the giants, or with the
Yes.
giants. 'Cause they're still in the same cave. They're talking, they're learning about,
Yep.
she's asking questions. She says they talk about like giants getting discovered, why he snatched her and didn't eat her. Well, I don't
Yes.
eat people,
Yep. They're
but
icky.
when
I'm
you
a nice
saw
giant.
me, they're
Yeah.
icky, and I'm gonna snatch you and take you here because you saw me, and I've never had
Yeah.
anyone see me before. You're the first person to see me.
Yeah.
And so she's like, well, why would you, what are you going to do with me? Well, I'm going to leave you here for the rest of your life. I'm just going to feed you and you're going to live here. So
Yep. You're gonna hang out with me.
yeah, I'm not going to kill you. I'm not going to give you the other giants because you'll die. They'll eat you.
Yeah, I have to hide you from the other giants because if they find you, they will also eat you.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd
They
be a
see
little
you, you're
morsel for
done.
them, a little appetizer before they go eat other people.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so the whole thing is they'll jump and jettison when it gets dark over to different countries. They'll run over there, eat a few people or a dozen,
Yep.
and then come back and sleep it off.
Yep. I've got we learned that he's the runt and that apparently giants are picking up at least 2 people each at night to eat.
Yeah.
And they only eat dinner, nothing else. And apart from that, they do literally nothing.
Hmm. Yeah.
All they do is sleep and then they go and eat people and then they
Well,
come back and sleep.
they don't even sleep very much, though. Remember, he was saying they only sleep like 2 hours,
I don't even, I'm just like,
which was really strange
I
because
was like,
like you do nothing. He said
yeah,
he pulls the rock over because the cave is covered with a rock, with a big
yeah,
boulder, and he looks outside. They're just kind of standing there looking around,
yeah,
doing nothing at all, bored. And then sometimes they sleep. Because like
yes,
that's a very boring existence. But he says that reason why he snatched her is because he didn't want her to go out there and say, "Hey, I saw a giant," and then come
yep,
find them and attack him and put him in a zoo with all the jiggery rafts and the hippopotamus or something weird
yep,
like that. So
yep.
and oh man,
All
it
of them
was
other big animals.
oh yeah, put it on tell all the people so all the news can go on the radio squeaker.
Such a good book.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It was so funny. So funny. And he describes that there's nine other giants.
Yes.
And they are naked minus a like loincloth, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Tarzan
Yeah.
version of
But
clothes. Yep.
grosser, but not
But yeah,
muscly,
disgusting.
but not pretty.
No, they're not pretty Tarzan. They are ugly Tarzan.
They're ugly Tarzan.
Icky Tarzan.
They're gorillas and tutus.
Yes. There we
Actually, that'd
go.
probably be cuter than these guys.
I was gonna say, like, I'm picturing a girl in tutu, and I'm like, I'd see that.
Yeah, I'd go watch that.
Yeah. A giant in a loincloth? Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay.
And I love he says he asks questions and he goes, "Am I right?" And she goes, "Yes." And then he goes, quite often I am left as well as right.
I Love that.
I'm like, yo, but two rights don't make a left.
No, three
But
rights
three
too.
rights do. But three rights do.
I love that. I know. Am I right or left?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. What?
You're
What
like,
I love
okay.
it throughout the book. She's just like she's correcting him quite often, and he gets really upset about this.
Yeah.
He's like, I wasn't educated. I wasn't educated. I didn't go to your fancy schools. And then over time, it's kind of like I thought about like she's kind of like his parent at this point
Yeah.
because like when the kids were learning to speak, they look to you or Chris, they'd say something and you both look at me like, what the hell is he saying? I say he wants to know this.
Yeah.
I was like their interpreter. She became
Yeah.
his interpreter,
Oh, especially at the end of the book, she is his
especially in
interpreter.
the book. Yeah.
Yeah, God, they're talking and they're like, "What the fuck is he saying?" And she's like, "Don't worry about it. It's that just you got
Yeah.
it. It's fine. Move
It's no
on.
big deal. No fucking big deal. Okay.
It's all good."
Yeah. It also talked about how the giants run around and go eat people depending on how they feel.
Yes.
If they're feeling really hot, they go eat Eskimos
Yep.
or people from Chile because they're chilly.
Which you would think they would be hot because Chile is in a warmer
You'd think,
area,
but that's not
but
where they
that's not.
go.
No, nope. They are from
No.
Chile, so they are in fact chilly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They're chilly. They're cold. They're
Yeah.
chilly. I thought chili like chili beans, but okay, whatever.
I was
Go
chili
eat.
peppers was what I
Go.
thought
Oh,
of.
chili peppers. Yeah. Why did I think
I
chili peppers?
have
Whatever.
no idea why you went to beans, but maybe the human
Chili
beans.
bean. Chili bean. The human
Yeah.
bean.
Yeah.
Human bean.
That's why.
You all taste like human beings. All human beings.
Oh goodness.
And then let's see. We're getting into chapter 7 already.
Yep, the marvelous years.
God damn, we're moving.
That's when he goes, "You think I is Swiss figgling you?"
Yeah. You think God was fiddling you? Yeah, because he tells her a bunch of stuff, and she's
Yeah,
like,
and
I don't
she's just
believe
like,
you. This is
well, she's
madness.
so like mystified by it. And then once he tells her that flowers scream when they're picked, she's like, "I don't think that's true." And he was like, "Well, I'm not gonna talk to you then." And she was like,
But
"What? Like, that's kind of unbelievable, my guy. Like, I don't." And he's like, "No, it's true." And she's like, "I can't. Do you see my ears? I can't hear that." And he's like, "Well, mine are big, so I hear it." And she's like, "Noted, got it." Like,
yeah,
I'm so sorry.
understood. Yeah.
Exactly.
The plant screams, the flower screams, just like you would scream if we ripped your arm off.
Yeah.
Dang.
I'm like, that's rough. Like, I don't want to hear that.
No, I don't want to hear that either.
No.
Yeah, no. Oh, doesn't he make? Yeah, she makes him cry, not because
Yeah.
he's mean, but they start talking and kind of get to know each other a little bit. She tells him she's an orphan. Her
Mhm.
parents died when she was young,
Yep.
and that she hated being at the orphanage. And he's
Mhm.
like, "Well, why?" And it says that the woman who's in charge would get mad. They get locked in a cellar during the day with a bunch of rats, and
Yeah.
he actually starts to cry. Yeah, and I love how she says it was he's a strange and moody creature.
Aren't we all?
Aren't we all? No, no. I love how
Oh god.
he calls it kid snatching. You were kid
Yeah.
snatched. You were kid
Yep.
snatched. Yeah.
Not
Uh,
kidnapped, kid snatched.
kid snatched. Yeah.
Kid snatched.
It's
Mhm.
she believes she'll be there and get eaten eventually is what she's
Yep.
worried about. They don't want she doesn't
Yep.
want to stay there forever.
Which I mean, I wouldn't either.
Mm-mm. No. Sophie asked BFG what he was doing in her village. Start
Oh
asking
yeah.
questions.
Yeah,
And so
about all the dreams.
this is where we learn that he actually because he doesn't eat people and he wants to do something for fun, he
Yeah.
actually gives kids good dreams.
Which is so cute.
It's very sweet.
I love it.
It's very
I'm like, I
sweet.
wish. I
I would
want
give
someone to do
people
that for
terrible
me.
nightmares and it'd be people I don't like.
Oh yeah. Bad
Yeah.
people. Go for it.
Bad people can get all the bad nightmares.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I put a note here because we figure out that he actually collects dreams,
Mhm.
which is kind of an interesting concept when you think about it. That
Yeah.
dreams can be collected at all is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I put note here because he can hear them. She goes, "How do you collect dreams?"
Yeah. She's like, they're not a
Yeah,
thing. Like,
this thing being swashbuckled or whatever the hell she said called it. Swizz figured, figgled.
yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
It's tickling you.
yeah. I said his ears, I think, make him sympathetic to living things.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because the other giants aren't described as having big giant ears.
That's true. Yeah, I think that well, especially with him being able to hear flowers scream as
Right.
if you were, he's like, oh my God, because technically it's a living thing.
Hmm.
And so I think then he's like, oh, these people are living, breathing things.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's a good giant. He's such
He's
a
a
good
good giant.
person.
He's
He's
a
a
big
good
friendly
giant. I'm
giant.
like, you're so cute. All he wants is people to be happy, except the other giants, which
Yeah,
is fair.
he does
He's their
not like
mean.
them at all.
Well, they don't like
Uh,
him, so
yeah. I mean, what did he say? He says, "Would you teach me how to make an elephant?" He asks her. And it's like, make an elephant? He wants
yeah,
to
I get
ride an
that.
elephant and go pick peachy fruits.
Yes,
Like that's interesting. Okay.
that's one hell of a dream.
Yeah, that's a dream,
Yeah,
all right. He wants to do that
yeah.
one day. Instead of eating what he calls snozcumbers.
Which, I wrote this down. I absolutely hate cucumbers, so I understand why Sophie and BFG hate snozcumbers so much. I just picture them being giant cucumbers.
That's what they, if you watch the movie, they kind of are.
And so many people love cucumbers, or they say they taste like nothing. Thank you. I absolutely hate them. I love a good pickle. I love a pickle. I
Yeah.
hate
What
cucumbers.
is with that?
They taste too strong. Something with that whole vinegar and the pickling stuff, that's delicious.
That's fine. I
I
love
love a pickle.
pickles.
If a cucumber touches something else, I'm out. Like
See,
I can taste it on other things.
okay, see, here's my thing is if I have a cucumber with salad, fine, whatever.
Oh
If
no.
it's by itself, I don't want it. I don't want it. I will,
If it's in a salad, I will pick it out.
yeah, I'll eat it because I'll eat
Nope.
most things. It just, I've gotten to the point where it's on my plate. I'm gonna eat it.
I'm getting there, but
Yeah.
cucumbers are not one of the things that I will be adapting that
And that's
to.
fine. I usually, if I had a choice, I won't have it on my plate. But if it's there
I'm
because it was
working on
plated,
tomatoes.
was
I'm
that?
making
Oh, I
progress. I'm
love
working on
tomatoes.
tomatoes.
Tomatoes
I
are so
haven't
good.
since I was a kid. Grandma picked one fresh off the vine and was like, "Here you go." And I was like, "This is absolute trash." And mom was like, "You don't like tomatoes then, because there's no way that you would ever like them
See, I will
if you don't
actually
like them
cut.
from
I could,
grandma's."
if I had to, I'd cut a tomato and I'd put salt on it and I would eat it like that.
I don't really like salt on things though.
I do.
Like I don't like even salt on a margarita rim.
I'm not a big margarita fan.
Oh, how do you not like margaritas, Ryan?
They're okay. I don't know what it is. The syrup, maybe the ones I've had, the margarita, maybe it was too sickly sweet. I don't know.
Chris needs to make you a homemade one. You'll like it.
I'm down. I'm willing to try anything twice.
Oh yeah, same.
Anything twice.
Almost anything.
I didn't say that. But I will
We
try the
have it on
margarita.
recording, Ryan. We have it on recording.
Yeah, it's okay. I
Yeah.
lie most of the time, just by the way. Just so you know.
You'll have the footage. You can delete it anyways.
It's true. I own it.
Yeah.
It's mine. Anyway.
Yes, snozcumbers.
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 Let's see. He can swivel his ears up and down
Yes.
so he can hear up in the sky where the dreams are, which is pretty cool, or hear anything and everything. So he
A
can
freaking
hear.
security camera.
Yeah, kinda. It swivels around, so it's kind of hilarious. He can hear heartbeats. He can hear all sorts of stuff. So he can hear your
Yep.
heartbeat through the walls and see if people's are
Yep.
in there. Kind of wild and crazy. Let's see, that's 7. Where's 8? I learned halfway through I was taking my notes. I was writing them on like back pages of way before. I did a poor job taking notes, to say that.
Like I said, pretty much just wrote down my thoughts. I wrote down nothing that's happening, which I have now changed in the next book. But we live and we learn.
I do know. Okay, so that's when we get to chapter 8, it is all about snozcumbers.
Yes,
As he described it, and I love this, they are icky poo vegetables.
they are, in fact,
poo.
disgusting.
They
Yes.
are icky poo. I wouldn't have
Yeah.
them. He eats those instead of people, which is very kind of him.
He's a
friendliest.
humanitarian. He is the friendliest
He
giant.
is. You know what?
Yeah.
He eats them, and he doesn't go and eat other things. But
I think it's adorable that BFG is so against taking vegetables from Sophie's town. He is the purest of pure, and I love him. That's what I put down.
But what I laughed my ass off was he says he took a book to learn how to read
Yep.
and write. But I mean, he's not reading or writing well, but he reads and write a little bit.
Yes.
And then she goes, but what's the difference between taking that and taking vegetables? She goes, well, I'm gonna return the
I'm
book.
gonna bring the book back.
I took it like 80 years ago from a little boy's desk.
But I'll bring it
I'll
back.
bring it
Don't
back.
you worry.
Like, that guy's probably dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, very old or very dead.
You probably forgot that the book existed. I think you're okay at
Uh-huh.
this point.
Is that building even there?
Probably not. No. Or
Yeah.
it's something else now. It's
Yeah.
condominiums. Yeah.
It's so funny.
It's an
So
office
yeah,
complex.
these snozzcumbers are black with white stripes. They're filled with seeds and just like this gross jelly nastiness. I'm like,
Yeah, I
it
just
sounds like
picture
you're
a
eating a
cucumber.
fat referee, is what it sounded like.
In the shape of a cucumber.
In the
Yes.
shape of a cucumber. Or I think
Yes.
it's like a cucumber squash, or if you
Something.
watch the movie, I think it's like a squash, but I can't remember.
I'll have to watch it.
Got a bulbous
I hope
end
it's on
and
Amazon.
longer. I don't know. It
Yeah.
looks weird.
Well, that description sounds like a squash.
Yeah, but I mean, I can't remember. But anyway, whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah, he's just a funny guy. They start talking about like you know, being born and how giants are born. And he says they're not,
Yes.
there's no women giants. They're not, there's no mothers. You're not born, you just appear.
Voila!
Yeah.
There's a giant.
Yeah, voila, giant man. He doesn't know how old he is. He just knows they never die. Something about being a time twiddler.
I don't know. I got nothing.
I don't know either. You human beings are time twiddlers.
We have time? Is that it? I don't.
I don't know. We
I
worry
thought of
about
a
time. He
time.
doesn't worry
I,
about time.
I thought of a time turner from Harry Potter, but that's
Oh
not
yeah.
it. Mom got me one of those for Christmas one year.
Uh, did it work?
Unfortunately, no, which was a little bit shitty, but it's fine.
It's a disappointment. Tell
Yeah.
mom to return it and get it the right one.
I ended up giving it to someone else to give to someone for a Christmas present. I like sold it like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years later.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's funny.
Mhm.
Yeah, so he doesn't know how old he is. He goes and eats it. He just decides to take a bite of it. And then just the sheer disgust of it, he just starts spitting it out everywhere, nearly hitting Sophie with just guck and seeds and juice and crap.
Yeah, that's me when I eat cucumbers. I get it.
Yeah, okay. Tastes like frog skins and rotting fish.
I don't ever want to know what that tastes like.
Frog skins and rotting fish.
Yeah, but I don't want
Disgusting.
the personal experience. I don't want it. No, thank you.
Disgusting.
Hard pass.
I've had rotting
All
fish
good.
before. Disgusting.
Oh, that's icky.
It was in Italy, of all
Oh,
places. Yeah, it
0
was
out of
not
10.
good.
No,
We all
thank
had the
you.
fish. We're like, this fish tastes disgusting. It's been out for too long.
This is not what we're eating right
Yeah,
now.
you don't want to smell fish. Like when you're eating it, you don't want to smell fishy. If it
I
smells,
hate fish.
I don't mind the smell of fresh fish because I do sushi. Sushi's great. It's fabulous.
To be fair, I haven't tried sushi since I was vegan,
Okay.
and then, but I'm allergic to avocado, and that's in like 90% of sushi things.
You're
Yeah.
allergic to avocado?
Oh, it makes me throw up like no tomorrow.
Oh, then you definitely can't go to sushi. I'm sorry. Okay, well, I was gonna say we should go out and get some sushi, but I'm gonna take that back.
That's when I found out I was allergic to avocado because the avocado rolls were the only thing I liked. And then I went home and I was like, this is the worst pain I've ever had in my
California
entire
rolls.
life.
Those
It
California
was
rolls.
it was just an avocado roll because it was when I was vegan, so I didn't have any fish. And so my friend was vegan and she was like, let me take you to the sushi place. It's Joa in Silverdale. We went there.
Joa, yeah,
And
Joa.
yeah, so there was like a ginger roll, I think like a carrot roll and like an avocado roll. And so it was literally just a stick of those in the
Mhm.
sushi roll. And the only thing I liked was the avocado roll. So I ate a bunch of those and then I got home and I was like, wow, I feel like I'm getting stabbed. That's really fun. And I was like, the only thing I ate that's different was the avocado. And then I've tested it over the years and I'm for sure allergic to avocado.
Sucks. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm weird.
I
I'll
miss
eat
guacamole.
eel. I'll eat eel and tuna and spicy tuna and salmon eggs and salmon and oh no, it's delicious. Oh my God.
I've tried to sear ahi tuna and nope.
Ahi tuna?
Mm-hmm.
Ahi tuna is awesome. Poke is amazing.
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
Because Chris,
I worked in a shop that had a bunch of Filipinos and Hawaiians, and
They knew how to cook and make food, and they wanted to feed me, and I loved them.
That's a lot of Chris's old coworkers did that. Like when he was in San Diego, he got COVID over Thanksgiving, and so his Hawaiian coworker brought him up their Thanksgiving dinner, and it was like not a traditional one for us.
I don't
Yeah,
care.
he loved it.
Excellent.
Yeah, he was all about it. But yeah,
Yeah.
in Arizona, I tried ahi tuna, seared ahi tuna. I was like, this is the texture cannot,
Fine.
absolutely cannot. Chris made me tuna fully cooked, all about it. But
Okay.
if it's not cooked,
Is Chris a sushi guy?
his sister is more of a sushi person than he is.
Okay.
He'll like eat it if she wants to go out with him to it. But
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I need someone who's all about it.
You
I
gotta
don't
meet
know
Amanda
anything
then.
about it, but I like it. I just want to go eat it. I'm like, bring me all the rolls. Just bring it.
Yeah, you gotta meet Amanda then because
Anyway,
she loves sushi.
Yeah. I'm now hungry. I want sushi.
I am not. I do not want
I want
sushi.
all the sushi. How we gonna have snaz combos to sushi?
Ugh. I mean, it's all icky to me.
So they talk about that stuff. Oh, I love this. So she suggests snatching vegetables from her village,
Yep.
like you said, and he doesn't want to steal from people. She goes, but you stole me, but you kids snatched me. Oh,
Yeah.
you're just a little girl. So
No one cares.
I said, no biggie. She's worth less than apparently the vegetables.
Exactly.
Oh, like,
That's
what
like 50 cents in the store. You're nothing. It's
yeah, you're
fine.
nothing. That's fine.
Yeah. Don't worry
You're
about
just a
it.
dumb person.
It's like, damn, dude. Harsh.
That's kind of rough, man.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Okay, so now we're moving on to Chapitoire Nueve for you folks who speak Spanish. Nueve.
I can count to 14 and that is all.
Oh man, I got you all the way to 1,000. Let's do this thing.
Perfect. I got 14.
14, guys. 14. 15 is 15. Hey, come on.
Okay, now I got 15.
16, 17,
So
18,
the blood butler.
The blood butler. The blood butler.
Yeah.
So he breaks in to the cave. I mean, he just rolls the rock out of the way.
Which is not, yeah. I wrote down his quote that it literally made me laugh because he's like, you brought a human back. I can tell you brought a human back. Like, just show me the human. We'll get this over with. Like, it's fine. And he's like, I didn't bring a human back. And the blood butler goes, I is guessing you has snitched away a human being and brought it back to your bunghole as a pet. I literally laughed out loud.
You brought you back to your bunghole.
I had to put the book down and like breathe and then write that that quote down and be like, okay, moving on. Like,
I wrote this one down. You're as dodgy as a dog swallower. I don't know. We swallowing dogs.
I would not like to be.
Yeah. Furball.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's my pup is my pet. That's all.
Not my food. But yeah, so to get rid of him, he decided to BFG decided to try to convince the blood bottler to eat a snozcomber.
Well, yep, he's like, these are so good. Yeah, dude. They're so tasty.
Try to distract him from the possibility of having Sophie in the house there or the cave. And well, what he didn't know is that to hide from this huge blood bottler giant, she crawls into the already half-eaten snozcomber that BFG gives to the blood bottler.
Yep.
And he ends up taking a bite with her in it.
Yep.
Thankfully, it's so repulsive that he spits it out with her in it.
Yep.
She lands safely on his cloak on the ground.
Yeah, I can picture kids hearing that scene where Sophie's like hiding in the snozcomber and the BFG is like, oh yeah, you gotta eat it, you gotta eat it. And the kids are just screaming for the giant to not eat it. Like either watching the movie or hearing the book, like, don't eat it, she's in it, don't eat it.
Oh, but I'm gonna eat it now. Yeah, and he does. He finally leaves. Apparently, does he kick him and does something, or I don't know. He gets pissed at the BFG, and then he leaves apparently. And
yep,
he goes over. He's looking for Sophie. Doesn't know where he's at or she's at, and she pops up, and he freaks out because he was in her mouth, or she was.
Yeah, she's like covered in the snozcomber stuff, and he's like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. Thank God you're okay. And he says he really wants to get rid of these guys, and then she goes, "I want to help." And so
yeah,
she wants
I
to
got
help.
you.
All right, so we're talking about chapter 10. We're already at chapter 10. Aren't you excited? It's a good time.
I'm so excited.
So excited.
We're not even halfway through.
I know, not even halfway through. So strap in, y'all.
Buckle up.
Ewans.
Or
I think
as
that's
they
the
say on Morbid, hold on to your butts.
hold on to your butts. That's from
Mhm.
Jurassic Park.
Okay, well, they say it in Morbid, and I've only seen Jurassic Park once all the way, like all of the movies once.
Oh, okay. All the movies. Okay, the
Yeah,
first movie though.
I've seen all of them, all of Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. I've
Okay.
seen all of it. Yeah,
You've only seen the first one
I've
time?
I've only seen all of them one time.
Oh.
I did a little marathon, and then I was like,
Oh, okay.
solid.
You're like, that's
Did it.
enough dinosaurs eating
Yeah,
people
I was
for my
like,
life.
cool, great.
Good stuff.
Dinosaurs, awesome. Yeah.
Yes, that was Samuel L. Jackson's line. Hold on to your butts. Anyway, I swear
Anyway,
this has relevancy. I
sure
swear.
does. It
Butts
really
do.
does.
Okay, because
Yeah.
farts come out of there.
I mean, hold on to your butt kind of does.
Hold on to your butts.
Maybe.
Anyway, we are
Anyway.
talking about butts and farts a little too much already, but it is a kid's book about giants.
This is fair. Yeah. There's a lot of topics in there.
Anyway, so chapter 10 is a weird one. By weird, I mean it's the title is weird.
A lot of the titles are weird
A
though.
lot of the titles are weird.
Chapter 13's got a weird title.
So it's called Frobscottle and Whiz Poppers.
Yes.
Who doesn't love a good Frobscottle? I know I enjoy a good whiz popper from time to time. You'll understand what that means in a second.
You sure do.
So we open up in chapter 10, and Sophie has expressed her hunger and thirst for food and drink. Go
and she
figure.
would like to not have more snozzcumbers, which is
fair. Yeah, them
snows,
the delicious snows, those snozzcumbers.
The disgusting snozzcumbers.
Yeah, and so he gets all excited and happy, and he's like, "I have something to give you. It's Frobscottle." She's absolutely confused, as I would be.
Yeah, because it's like, I'm sorry.
I don't speak that dialect.
Do not. And it's the Frobscottle is this carbonated beverage he holds up, and it is in fact fizzing the wrong way because things fizz up, but this fizzes down. And he's like, "That's not wrong. What are you talking about?"
Yeah, this is absolutely the right way.
Yeah, upwards is the wrong way.
And yeah, so they start talking about bubbles and how it reacts to the body, and she's like, no, it bubbles up, and then you have a burp. Yeah. And he's like, no, burping is filthsome.
Wrong.
And I love this line. You're as quacky as a duckhound.
Oh, yes. I laughed at that one.
Quacky as a duckhound. Like,
I thought I wrote that one down, but I did not.
What? Yeah, they get in this conversation about it, and he's talking about no, burping is filthsome.
Yes.
But whiz popping is amazing.
Yes.
I mean, it is amazing, but it's more socially acceptable amongst giants.
Yes.
Yes. And for those of you who don't know and can articulate or can't figure this out, whiz poppers is farting.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it sure is.
All the whiz poppers. All you guys know whiz poppers. You girls don't do it, apparently.
It happens just in private.
I know for a fact that it does happen. I grew up with you. I have sisters.
And you're married, so there's that too.
Married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all human.
Yeah, we are. That's what I always say.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good time. So yeah, I think she has some drink of it.
She does.
Just drink it, and she lets one rip. She drinks it and she lets one rip.
She's having fun.
She's having fun. But what you don't know is that a whiz popper doesn't just make you fart.
Nope.
No. What does it do, Emily? What does it do?
It makes you like float or like catapult in the air. Either way, you end up going up.
Catapult in the air.
Well, the picture, violent. It looks like he's like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So if you watch the movie, it's funny. It's almost like a rocket launch. It like starts taking off.
That's what I'm thinking.
He's levitating.
Rocket's probably better than catapult, but words.
Kind of like catapult, like you pull the ripcord on a ejection seat.
I think that's kind of what I was thinking of. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
I feel like if that were to happen, you need to change your pants after.
I would think so. I did write after like reading so far. I was like, Sophie has the patience that I aspire to have because she's like, cool, great. What are we doing today? And he's like spouting off all this gibberish. And she's like, great. So what does that mean? And I would be like, I'm sorry. Like, can we English here? And she's just so calm and so chill. The whole book, she's just so composed. And I'm like, girl, teach me.
Teach me the ways of your ways. I found that as I've gotten older, my patience has gotten less Just less
My
in
inner bitch has
general.
come out and the patience has slowly drifted.
Mm,
So that's where we're
mm.
at.
Oh, I saw the picture that mom
Mom.
sent. It has a little, is it a bracelet?
So she sent a ring and a bracelet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And why can't I remember I remember what the
Oh,
front of it
I
says.
I remember what it says. So
I have the
on the
picture.
in the front of it, in the foreground, it says "Be kind,"
Oh, there we go.
and
Yeah.
then in the back of the ring, further away, it says "of a bitch."
Yeah. So if you were wearing it, people would see the be kind, and then on the inside of the band it says of a bitch. So you
Yes.
would remember for you to be kind of a bitch.
Only when needed. It's what do you call it? Strategic.
Yes.
Strategic
Yes.
bitchery.
Kill them with
Mm,
kindness sometimes, but be bitchy other times.
yes, making up words now. Yes,
Yes.
be a dick when you have to be a dick, essentially.
Yes.
Okay, so after the Frog Scuttle and whiz popping, all that fun jazz, we move on to chapter 11,
Yes.
where we're journeying to Dream Country,
Yes.
which sounds like a very nice place.
It does. It seems I
Interesting place.
you don't like SpongeBob, right?
I really didn't vibe with it. No.
I'm a SpongeBob
Summer
person.
is okay.
Only the older seasons. I don't like the newer stuff is weird.
Mm,
But for some reason, the Dream Country, do you remember him going jellyfishing?
I do. Actually, that's what I was thinking of,
I'm
oddly
really
enough.
glad that you thought that too, because that's like what I think of is the jellyfish fields when he's trying to get his little dreams.
He has a net. He has a
Yeah,
butterfly net, just
he
like
is jellyfishing for dreams.
SpongeBob. Yeah, he is.
Exactly.
Totally is. I'm like, I feel like,
Yeah.
but I feel like in the book didn't in SpongeBob's Land, because I remember watching the show with you,
Mhm.
because we had to humor you. You were the younger one.
Obviously.
We had to humor you, and we had to have appropriate TV on. I guess that was appropriate.
I don't
Watching
mom
it
didn't love it, but she was like, "Yeah, that's fine."
better than some of the crap they had. You know what I mean?
Family Guy. She
Uh,
was not a fan of Family Guy.
no, she does not like Family Guy. I remember like the fields and the jellyfish fields were actually quite picturesque. And I don't
Yeah.
remember in the book though for BFG, it seemed like it was almost like desert-like. Am I remembering that right? I can't
I
remember what the setting was. I don't remember it being very beautiful, like
I
mountains
don't I don't
and
either.
grassy knolls.
I think that's technically I'm trying to look and see what he says in the next chapter,
Okay.
if it says anything, but
You have a reference tool. I have to use my notes.
well, my notes aren't great, so I was like, I need to bring this. I need to bring this in.
Oh,
I don't think they really mention it much. In my brain for some reason it's like dark, but I don't know that that's actually what it is.
it might have been dark because she was in his pocket.
Well, she's outside of his pocket after they capture the dream. Well, the
Okay.
nightmare, I guess, that he grabs.
The nightmare.
But yeah,
Yeah, we'll get to that
I don't
too.
know. Yeah,
Yeah.
all that
Yeah.
stuff.
So okay. So the BFG, they go to the dream country,
Yes,
puts her in his waistcoat, and he talks about they have to pass the big giants, I think, right?
yes,
On their
that's
way to the
the
dream country.
they have an encounter with the other giants.
And they run into the biggest one called the flesh lump eating giant.
Yes, the flesh lump eater.
He's 54 feet tall.
Yep,
He's a tall sucker. Tall son of a bitch.
he's a big one.
Yeah, he's a big one. He's a
Yeah,
big one.
oh bitch. Yeah.
And they ask where he's going, and they don't want they don't want any giant hunts either. So because they think that he's holding a human pet.
Which he is.
Yeah,
They're not wrong.
no,
No.
no.
So, but they also want to eat her, so they're like, you know,
Yeah, come on, let
yeah.
me have it. I want a human being. I want to eat
I
your
love
human being.
BFG says you can go looking into every crook and nanny. There is no human beans or stringy beans or runner beans or jelly beans or any other beans in there.
I love that so much.
Oh God.
It's so good. Yeah,
Every
and
crook
so
and nanny, King Boy. Every
crooked
crook and
nanny.
nanny.
Yeah. Well, so basically, they don't like his words. They don't like him talking because he's the runt of the litter, and they're
Yep,
like,
he's the
"We're gonna
biggest.
use you as a ball and kick him around a little bit."
Which
So,
I wrote down, the other giants are a bunch of assholes. I was like, I mean, I was hogtied with a blanket thrown over me as a kid. Thanks, Ryan and Chris. But at least I was never used as a ball that I know of.
no.
Quoted from my notes. Thank you very
Oh, that's
much.
amazing. Yeah, she
Mhm.
was. We did that. You were. I'll go in a little explanation on that one, just so people are like, "What kind of terrible brothers do you have?"
Wasn't like that abused, just a
No,
little bit.
just a little bit. Well, you got to understand. So Ems, you're 7 years younger than I am. So Chris
Yes.
is right in the middle. Well, he's
Yeah.
4 years older than you.
Yeah.
So age gap when you're that young, I think you were four,
Something like that.
4 or 5. I don't know.
Yeah.
You were young. You were following the big brothers around. So if you're 4, I'm 11.
Yeah.
Okay. Chris is what, 9-ish,
8, 8, 9,
8-ish,
depending on the
eight,
month.
9,
Yeah.
depending on the month of the year.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And all you want to do is just hang out, which is fine. But big brothers are like, nah,
I
we're
also would steal your toys, so
you
you were a
also
little
would
pissed
steal
off.
our stuff.
I kind of deserved it.
I don't know if you deserved it, but you were trying to say like, I want to play the game. And so we're like, okay, well, we're playing Cowboys and Indians, or we're playing Damsel in
Something.
Distress. I don't know what the hell we were playing. Knights and Idiots. I don't know.
I don't even have a memory of it. I just know it happened.
Yeah, we told you. And
Yeah.
so we were like, okay, well, you're gonna be the damsel in distress. You're like, well, what's that? So we told you what that was. And so, well, you're the only girl, you have to be the damsel. And so
Has to be.
we had grabbed what, the rope from, or the tie from the, like, the bathroom
Mhm.
ties. What do you
Like a
call it?
robe or
The
something.
robe, thank you.
Hmm.
Bathroom robe, and we tied your hands and legs together, basically hog tie you. And we're like, well, that's kind of cold to put a blanket on you. We left you there for
Bye.
like 20 minutes and just left. You were in the family room. So not like you were outside on a railroad track like a bunch of psychos. You
No, that would
know,
be a bit much.
that would be a thing. I think mom found you. It's like, why is
Probably.
Emily tied up in the family room? I can't remember. And then we felt bad and had to,
Yeah.
untie you. Anyway,
Yeah.
nothing terribly malicious, just two
No.
big brothers trying to get their sister to stop following them for a little bit.
That was the first thing I thought of reading that after he was getting used as a ball. As I was like, well, I was hogtied, but I was never used as a ball that I know of.
I don't remember kicking you around either, so
That's good.
yeah, no,
All right.
that'd been really rude. I see we got a couple of names I found from the Giants. One is
Yes.
called Manhugger, which is weird.
Was it Manhugger?
I
Must
think
be. I trust
Man
you.
Eater.
Nope, Manhugger. Yep.
Is it Manhugger? He
Manhugger.
sounds delightful.
He's great. Unless it's like a real tight hug to where you don't
Oh,
breathe anymore.
like Anaconda hug.
Exactly.
Yeah, Python.
Bone Cruncher, Maid
Python.
Masher, Meat Dripper, Gizzard Gulper, Blood Bottler. They got some good names. Child Chewer.
Child Chewer. That one made me cringe a little bit.
It's
I want
yeah,
to know what
that's not
Roald
great.
Dahl was thinking when he's writing these names out.
Maybe he was high. Who knows? I'm like, I can't wrap my head around the fact that someone just like thought up this entire world and these words and all of this. Like, I just can't, like, how?
Like he's got to
Yeah.
be smoking something or eating
Sums,
something,
yeah,
eating some serious
sums,
shrooms or something. I don't
sums up.
freaking know. Who the hell knows anymore? Apparently that's a
Yeah,
thing. Anyway, they finally get bored with a BFG
yep,
and they leave him be, kick him around a
yep,
little bit, and then BFG walks with Sophie to the dreamland or dream
yep.
country. A dream country.
Dream country.
I want to retire to the dream country.
There you go. That sounds nice.
Sure. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
What else?
yeah. They do that whole sprint thing where it feels like he's flying, and then
Oh yeah.
Sophie's like, "Where are we at?" He's like, "Dream country," and she's like, "Cool, great." That means what?
Yeah. Oh, and they have a kind of interesting conversation about killing animals, and humans killing humans.
I made a note about that because I said BFG makes a good point that it's important for kids and even adults sometimes to know and remember that humans suck. We are the most dangerous creatures in that we can be just absolutely horrible and spiteful to each other, drop bombs on other humans for no reason at all but quote unquote politics, and hate for people we don't know. It's absolutely wild.
Yeah, it is true. It is
Yeah.
true. I mean, actually, we're not the only animals that kill each other.
No.
If you look into science, chimpanzee bands of chimpanzees will kill each other in turf wars, essentially turf wars,
Yeah.
resources. Ants will go to war with each other, that kind of thing. So, I mean, it
We're
does
just a
happen.
little bit, I feel like, extra
Oh, we're
fucked up,
very
but
efficient and
we're
dangerous
not.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
gruesome.
We're not
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah. We
But
we
yeah,
make the suffering a thing.
we do.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree with him there. And so he has also said that giants don't kill giants. They'll beat each other up and use them as balls, but they won't. But they won't eat you, nor will they eat each other, nor will they kill each other.
Yes, which I mean, props.
Props is right.
Still not great
No,
giants, but props.
all great with props. It's
Yeah.
awesome. So they get to the dream. They get to the dream country,
Yep. So
and we
we're
move
dream
on
catching.
to chapter Doce. That's 12 for you non-Spanish folk.
I was like, what?
By non-Spanish folk, I mean my sister.
Yeah, hi.
That's okay.
I was like, 2A?
I'm not Spanish either, but I like knowing things about Spanish
Yes.
language, I guess.
Yeah.
It's been a long week.
Accurate statement.
Yeah, long week.
It's a long day.
Been a long
Long 2
day.
days.
Yeah.
I was anxious
Very
all of
long.
yesterday.
Why?
I didn't get to pick my boy up until 5:30. Dropped
Oh,
him off at 7
that
a.m. And I was like, where's my dog?
I'm like, can you keep her? She's not
Yeah, you
loving
would.
you.
I called him on my
Okay.
lunch and I was like, hey, I don't want to be like annoying, but can I just like know where he's at? Like in the, has he gone back yet? Is like what's up? And they were like, oh, they just got back from lunch, so he's next. And I was like, cool, great. And that was at 1:30. I didn't get a call until 4:30 that he was like done and coming out of anesthesia. And I was like, the whole time, like, is this mostly, is it okay? Is it like when I was waiting for mom's back surgery, her 5-hour long surgery, after it hit that 5-hour mark where that was their estimate, the whole time I was like constantly checking the clock. It was the same feeling.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah,
you never
didn't
know.
love.
You never know what's gonna happen. You don't have a camera
No,
back there. So
no.
that's a thing. Anxiety is a thing, guys. Don't be ashamed of
Yeah,
it.
it
Okay.
sucks and I'm tired. So dream catching.
I need to do some dream catching. Actually, I'm okay. Okay. Weird
Okay.
random caveat.
Okay.
Dreams.
Yes.
Okay. Dreams. Do you find that you have a better night's sleep when you dream or when you don't dream?
It depends on the dream because I had 2 stress dreams last night about King Boy, so I did not sleep very well. One of them I lost him, and the other one I was looking for him, and then I found him, so I woke up a little bit less upset. But if I have like a nice soothing dream, but I feel like I wake up after them like throughout the night. I don't feel like I dream for a night and then wake up. So I feel like I
Interesting.
sleep better when I don't dream.
Okay, that's how I am. I don't if I dream, I
Yeah.
sleep like crap. Like I
Yeah.
wake up exhausted, tired,
Yeah.
irritable even if a dream was cool and I remember it and I enjoyed it, I wake
Yeah.
up tired. Anyway,
Anywho,
just a thought.
just a question.
It's a
Sir, can you not
question.
be making noise down there? Go see your dad if you got
Her doggy
complaints.
her doggy is trying to join the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's all over there.
Talk to me,
Grumbling.
ask me questions too.
I dream. Sir, come here. I don't know
Sir,
why you're upset.
you're
Come here.
so formal with him. It's so funny.
Well, I talk to him like a little human because he's my toddler. So even though he's 8.5.
Well, he is. Why is he barking?
Don't know. I don't hear anything, but look at these saucers. He can hear everything.
He is the BFG in Chihuahua form.
He's mad at me.
Oh.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Anywho.
So I wrote a note that I love how excited BFG gets when he catches his dream because I just like picture him like jumping up and down like a kid that, like just made a goal or something super exciting just happened. And I was just like, oh, so sweet, so innocent, so adorable.
They get to the dream catching area, and
Yeesh.
BFG and Sophie apparently need to stay still because he
Yes.
has to. He like actuates his ears.
Yeah, they're like little satellites. You gotta move them around.
Satellite dishes, yeah.
To get the signals.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He like points them up into the air like big old like dinner plates and can hear something, and then he catches one.
Yeah, his colossal ears were beginning to swivel out from his head.
Like that is such an odd statement.
Yeah, that paints a picture.
Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah.
So he pulls out the jars, his ears swivel around, he uses the net, jumps and catches a dream, and he puts it in a jar, and then it's invisible.
Yes.
Until it's in the jar.
Yes.
And then it like changes to something. Like it changes different colors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a oh god, what the
was it
is
green
the
or gold or
I think I pictured it as like a greenish blue, but I'm not sure if that's just me or if that was actually
it's also the color of the book, the front, the book cover.
Well, that's the
that's the
carbonated stuff. Yeah, that one.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. But this one is so a wink swiffler is a normal dream, like a good dream, but this is a golden fizz wizard, which is like a top tier 10 out of 10 amazing dream.
Yeah.
Like
So
very good Yelp review kind of a dream. Um
very good Yelp review.
yeah.
Top notch, top
Yeah,
shelf dream. Branding. Moving on.
he tells Sophie that her breathing is terribly noisy, and she was like, I haven't moved. And he's like, great, don't. Like, you're still being noisy by breathing. She's like,
Yeah.
cool, Austin, I have to. And then he hears another one, and then he says, oh, mince my maggots, which is something, and oh, swipe my swoggles, which are they're words. But he has now caught a trogglehumper, which is a word.
Trogglehumper,
It's a
which does not
frightsome.
sound appropriate for children.
It does, which is why I was like, that squeak by that.
Well, troggle?
Yeah, that part. It's a frightsome trogglehumper, and that's like a terrible, terrible nightmare. It's a bog thumper and a grob switcher. It's all three riddled into one.
Yeah. I love when he starts. I'm not sure if this is out of excitement or fear, but he goes, "Bash my eye bones, deliver us from weasels."
Deliver us from weasels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
makes your teeth stand on end. Yeah. It's amazing. I'm like, deliver us from weasels. I mean, weasels are terrifying creatures. If they were the size of actual human beings, they'd kill us all.
Oh, absolutely, they would.
They'd kill us all. They eat us all. Yeah.
We'd be
Apparently,
done.
I'm not a biologist, but
I am. Yeah, no, not even close.
no.
But let's see. He gets it in the jar, and
Yeah.
he's saying that it is just terrible, horrible, and then he's like, we're done. I'm not catching anymore. And she's
Yeah.
like, we caught two, and we're piecing out. And he's like, I'm so upset. I can't go on. We need to go back. I need to restart the day. Like, I'm tapping out.
I've had a hard day. I've been kicked around by a bunch of asshole giants, and I caught a freaking trogglehumper.
Yeah, I'm done.
Anyway, but what was kind of cool about it, he talked about dreams are like animals.
Yes.
Where when they're caged, if they're calm, have a calm nature to them, they'll sit there at the bottom of the jar, just relax.
Yeah.
But if they're nasty, they start getting angrier as and they're inside. Yeah, they're batting at the thing, they're getting bored or
bashing up against the glass and being all crazy and stuff. And they said they could see the like good dreams, like breathing almost.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like they had like a life form to them, and Sophie was like, oh, "That's weird."
It can't strange. So they take this trogglehumper and their whiz popper or whatever the hell it was. Not whiz popper. Was it whiz popper? No, whiz popper's the fart. The happy dream. The happy dream. Yeah, I can remember the fart one, but I can't remember anything else.
That's because it's a fart, and that's just how it goes.
It's how it goes.
We're grown-ups.
We're grown-ups. Kinda. I'm good at faking being a grown-up. How about you?
I'm not, but
you're not good at it? Okay.
Not to people that I know. To people I don't know, maybe, but
fair enough. When you hit 30, you get better at it. So
well, I got about 2.5 years.
You youngsters don't know what it's like.
I don't feel like I'm 27, but I apparently look it. So
you look 27. That's nice. I look older. I was told I have a fatherly essence to myself.
You do.
That's
you
nice.
Always have.
That's good. I was told by the sailor in our code. He goes, I don't take this the wrong way, but you have an older fatherly presence to you, and I'm like, I don't take that as an insult at all.
Since you were a teenager.
That's
always.
Great. Since I was a teenager. I was 16. 16. And I had a guy ask me if I was 25.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Anyway, off the cuff there. Farts.
Maturity.
Maturity is for losers. Okay.
Yeah.
So the BFG is amazing, and actually, I don't think does he come up with this idea, or does Sophie?
Does.
Does Sophie come up with it? Okay. So
I said her idea isn't a bad one for sure. So
no, totally. And so chapter 13 starts. They come back from Dream Country, and all the giants are asleep. They're all napping, having a great time. And when they sleep, what you don't know is, maybe you do if we told you already. Remember, Emily's and my memories are Emily's memory is shit, and my memory is
There you go. That's accurate.
The Trogglehumper for the Flesh Lump Eater is the title.
It might be BFG. His idea.
I thought it was BFG.
Her idea is the other one.
The other one we'll get to here after this. Mm-hmm. So they're sleeping, and he has an idea to get back at the Flesh Lump Eater for kicking him around and throw him like a like a volleyball or a beach ball, probably the better acronym. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Metaphor.
Comparison, whatever word, English.
Words are hard.
They're so hard.
Anyway,
Anyway.
he says the giants sleep every now and then, every then and now.
Yep.
Giants sleep every then and now. He
Yep.
just all his words jumbled up, and that they sleep super hard. And so he has an idea to mess with them. And Sophie's kind of worried about this. They start talking about humans sleeping versus giants sleeping.
Yep.
Apparently, humans sleep too much. I know people, especially you, that we don't think we sleep enough. Yeah, I would like to get a
No.
little more sleep. Although you have people like myself and my son who would love to sleep 2 hours a night and be able to operate.
I would like to say I would be fine only being able to sleep a couple hours. However, my problem is I have 2 chronic conditions that make me tired all the time. So no
Mhm.
matter how much I sleep, I'm always sleepy. So
That's the problematic case of damned if you do, damned if you don't.
accurate statement.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a thing. So they sleep
Yeah.
freaking wad for 2 to 3 hours at a time and are good for a while. And I put here, I wish.
Same.
So
Get so much
BFG,
more done.
I know, so much more done.
Yeah.
The house would be cleaner all the time, clean all the time. Just get crap
I
done.
don't have kids, so my house is clean all the
There
time.
you go. I love hate you. I hate love you, whatever the hell that is.
Hi.
Love to hate you, hate to love you. I don't really know anymore.
We are siblings.
We
That's
are
that's all you
siblings.
gotta say.
Yeah, we can. That's the relationship we have sometimes.
Exactly.
Okay, so BFG gets the idea. Oh, I have it written down. Look at me in my notes. Yay.
Look at you.
Yeah, I'm so proud of me, I guess.
Me too.
He BFG grabs the big old dream horn
Yep.
and he goes to the flesh lump eater
Yep.
and pours that big old Trogger humper out. Troggle humper? Frogger
Yep.
humper? I don't know. That's
The
whatever.
the the bad thing.
The bad thing, the
The
nightmare.
bad thing.
The really bad nightmare.
Yeah.
The one that makes you wake up in your sleep and all sweaty and stuff.
I hate those
I've had a
so
couple.
much.
I've had a couple of those. I've had two that I can remember. They're pretty bad.
I've had many, but they wake Chris up. And I had one night where I
Oh.
had, because he's a pretty light sleeper. So if I'm moving, he usually wakes up. I had one night where I had like 4 back to back. And he was so irritated with me by the next day because he was like, "You kept waking me." I was like, "I was having nightmares." And he was like, I got to wake up early. Like, you got to get your shit together. It's like, oh, well, sorry, dude.
Yeah, I don't have them very often. I think I've had them twice in my life, and they're awful. I had one in middle school, junior high school, early high, whatever. I was younger, teenager,
Early high.
early high, younger high, early high school,
Mhm.
and I had the dream was basically it was weird. It was like playing off like some kind of horror movie,
Yeah.
and it was these three girls. They were going home from school, and they happened
You
to.
told me about this
Did I
one.
tell you this one? So
Yes.
for those of you who haven't been a part of the conversation, I will explain it to you real fast.
Yes.
No idea where I came up with this. I'm not a serial killer, I swear. But
No, not that we
basically,
know of.
we know of. I mean, you know of. Anyway, you've been reading my recent thing. So anyway,
I sure have.
yeah, the thing was these three girls are going home. It's like in an inner city area, maybe suburbs, whatever. They pass by an alleyway. They see a sign that says free magic show. Like, oh, that'd be kind of cool. So they go down the alleyway. Mind you, I have no idea who these three girls are. I've never seen them before in my life. Maybe they came from a show in my head. Don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, they meet this magician, a little creepy. He puts on this very fantastical show that ends up sawing one of the girls in half, literally setting the
Yeah.
whole freaking place on fire. It was terrible. I basically watched three girls die by this psycho magician, and I woke up at like 2:30 in the morning, and I got dressed for school. I
Yeah.
didn't start school until 7:30 in the morning.
Wait it out.
It was terrifying.
I've
No
had a
idea what
bunch
the hell
of
happened.
I
But
have nightmares far too often.
oh, I'm
Um
sorry.
yeah, so typically I've gotten to the point now where I can usually kind of turn over, either put on a podcast or like turn the TV on or something. If Chris usually doesn't like it after we've gone to sleep if I turn the TV back on because it's
Oh,
like extra bright after you've
I
gone back,
don't blame him
which
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't either. If it's real bad, he'll be like, "Yeah, okay, I guess you can." But sometimes he's like, "Figure it out. Like you're an adult, you can
I
do
have
it."
to sleep. I have to drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get them pretty often, but now for the most part, I can just turn over and go back to sleep.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
I don't love
Anyway,
them.
so
Anywho.
he decides to throw this dream at or blow this dream at the FLE. That's what I've been writing down. The Flesh Love Beater, the
That makes
FLE
sense. Yeah.
acronym and an uh,
Anemone.
an enemy. Yes, it was great. So he blows it into the guy's head, and then they run away.
And the fleshlight beater thinks it's Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk because he's
Oh
this
yeah,
terrible.
the
Save me!
giant, get
Have
up.
mercy on this poor little giant, the beanstalk. He's coming at me with this terrible spike-sticking beanstalk. Take it away! I is begging you, Jack. I is praying you not to touch me with your terrible spike-sticking beanstalk. Yeah,
So yeah. Oh my God,
and
I
he's just
forgot that.
his cheesy smile,
He's
like
writhing.
he's
Yeah.
so happy
Yeah.
afterwards. He's like, he's like,
Sucker.
Jack is
That'll teach you
terrible.
for kicking me around like a
Yeah,
beast.
and then he ends up running into one of the other giants. Oh, his
Oh,
flailing
hell
fists
yeah.
as he's asleep. He hits meat dripping giant, which is
Gross.
Image, and then they all just end up fighting each other. They just
Yeah.
get in this huge brawl.
Yeah, and that's
with
the end of the
his-
chapter at that point.
Yeah, yeah, that's when Sophie goes, they'll kill each other, and he's like, never. Those beasts always bishing and walloping at one another. Soon it will be getting dusky, and they'll be galloping off to fill their tummies.
I love how he talks.
I know.
I mean, I hate reading it because I was telling you before, it's hard for me to read that just weird. They're not real words.
No.
And
My brain's like, duh.
yeah.
Processing,
Yeah.
no.
But I love how he speaks. So we get to chapter 14.
Yeah.
It's chapter 14. Okay, so chapter 14 is aptly named Dreams.
Yes.
Dreams.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's he doing in dreams, Emily?
That's a good question. I'm looking.
We're so prepared for this.
I am top notch. I'm 99% sure that this is where top shelf. He's
Sorry.
telling them that he can mix the dreams, and he has kind of like a, or at least at one point he does tell her that he's got, yes, okay, this is right, perfect, fantastic. So he's telling her that he organizes his dreams by kind of like what they are, and he writes little summaries of them. Sometimes they're long summaries, sometimes they're short, and he can like mix them together to make them a dream that he wants, or that he wants to curate for somebody. So I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty neat. So that's kind of 14 and 15, I believe. All right, is 15? What is 15?
15 is them talking about her idea.
Okay, the great plan. Okay.
Yes.
So 14, he's describing all this cool dream stuff, and I love how he goes into like the extra long ones and extra long things, and he's writing down and he's explaining it, and oh God, what it was. It was a dream about saving a teacher from a river, apparently. And
I have as a kid, I would have liked to have any of these: saving a teacher from drowning, being able to turn the lights on and off just by wishing it, jumping out of any window and just floating slowly, inventing a car that runs on toothpaste, a pet bee that makes rock and roll music when it flies, like just some random
silly things. And she asked like why you didn't write further, like longer ones, and he goes, you was watching me and making me jump see. I'm like, I love that. I'm like, you watch me making me jump see. Like,
I relate hard.
I do too, actually. Like, stop looking at me, otherwise I can't get crap done.
Even training on my current job, because I'm fully remote, so I was training via like, screen sharing and stuff. So like typing, no one's in the room with me, but someone's watching me type. Even then I was like messing up every other word. I was like, I promise I'm more proficient than this. Like,
I am not weird.
Awful.
Not weird.
Hate it.
I can't do
Self-conscious.
it. Self-conscious. I can't do it.
Self-conscious.
Yeah, I teach for a living, and so I can talk and talk and talk and talk all day long with no problem. You want me to do a task with people watching me? I have to really focus. Or
I am shaking. I will drop things. My coordination's not there. My
I used
brain
to be
stops.
like that. But when you teach for a living and you do it every single day, that tends to get less problematic. I'm not saying it goes away, but it became less of an issue.
Makes sense.
Yeah. What I also found interesting with this particular one was, he talked about dreams not needing food, even though they technically look like they breathe or kind of have a pulse.
Yeah.
It was kind of interesting. And he talked about that there was a difference between boy dreams and girl dreams.
Which makes sense.
Because boys think of weird things and girls probably think of weird girl things. I don't know.
Yeah, we think of weird things. Yeah.
Yeah. Weird girl things.
Yeah.
So, Anyway, he goes into that a little bit, and this is where I laughed, where she's like, "Hey, where did you learn to write? There's no school,
Yeah.
and where did you learn to write?" She goes, "Oh, well, I borrowed a book." Well, how is that different than taking vegetables? Well, I borrowed it. I'm gonna give this
Yeah.
back. Well, how long ago did you borrow the book? Oh, 80 years ago.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, it's fine. It's all
Yeah.
good.
And this is
Yeah.
where they actually learn at the end of the chapter that they are the giants. They woke up from their nap or whatever,
Yeah.
and they learn, and BFG and Sophie learn that they're going to go to England
Yep.
and eat kids
Yep.
from boys and girls schools.
Yeah.
So, and she, of course, Sophie gets up in arms about that.
Yep. Which I would too.
Yeah, I'd be very upset also.
Yeah. So then we get to the great plan, and Sophie
Yep.
goes, "We've absolutely got to stop them."
We've got to do it.
Redunculous and impossible, says the
Yeah.
BFG.
Yeah. I had that wrote. I wrote that down too.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's rubbing off on me.
I was going to say he's in your brain.
He's in my brain.
Like peas out of a poodle.
Some of the shit he says is amazing. Oh, I love it. Sophie wants to stop them. BFG can't stop them. He is a
Nope.
runt. He's a runt.
Yep.
And I can't remember why I wrote this down. It said adults are rotten. I can't remember why I said that.
I'm trying to see if I can find it, because this is where he's talking about that.
I know why
You
he
got it?
said that. Yeah,
Okay.
because he wanted to, or she wants to tell someone about it.
Yes.
And we got to alert the authorities. We got to talk to people about these giants coming. We got to say these kids. And he goes, "No, adults are rotten. They're not gonna believe you. They're terrible people." Blah blah. I think he brings up the orphanage thing with her. Getting locked in a cellar.
Yeah,
things
he
like
calls
that.
it an orphanage.
An orphanage
An orphanage.
with an N.
With an N.
With
They
an
is
N.
all squiffle rotters and grink sludgers.
Absolutely.
For
I
sure.
know a few in my day. You know what I mean?
And so then she's like, "That's not true. Some of them are really nice." And he's like, "Who?
Oh, yeah?
Name one." And she
Name
goes,
one.
"The Queen of England. You can't call her a squiffle rotter or a grink sludger." He goes, "Well, all right."
So this is where the great plan comes into play here, bringing in
Yes.
the Queen of England of all people.
Yeah, which her idea is to mix up a dream to put it, well, kind of a nightmare, to put in the
Oh, it's a
queen's
nightmare.
ear, head, whatever they do.
Nose, eyeballs, whatever.
Exactly. To show her exactly what's happening, but in dream form, and that a little girl is going to be sitting on her windowsill when she wakes up to like
Yep.
confirm this.
Yep.
And I mean, her idea was not a bad one, because if
No.
I had a dream where 9 gross giants were eating children and they had weird names, and some girl would be on my windowsill when I woke up and poof, there she was, I would in fact be inclined to believe her. I'd be
And
like,
what's
cool.
funny is, absolutely. And what I love
That's
about
fact.
this is that she tells him this, and he's like, "I don't know if I can do that. That sounds
Yeah, he's like, that's a lot of work. I don't know.
that's some stuff." And she goes, "Well," and he goes, she's like, "Well, you can come with me, and
Yeah.
you can learn how to live like in that area." And he's of course scared to death because the giant
He
hunt.
doesn't want to be put in a zoo. Yeah.
But he's like,
And
"But they don't have snozcombers.
yeah.
You can eat real food." And
Never
that's
gotta eat one
sold
ever
him.
again.
Yeah,
And then he's
that's sold
game
him.
on. Let's go.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
Not to eat snozcombers ever again. Let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we get to the good food. Give me good food, not that shitty snozcomber.
And that breakfast he has is massive.
We'll get there. But
Yeah.
this is kind of where I would say the climax kind of hits.
Yeah, I would say.
Well,
close
I
to
guess
it,
the
at
climax
least.
is when they actually get to England and talk to the Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, like 17, 18.
we're still in the dream, what would you call it? The laboratory
Yeah.
kitchen? Dream kitchen.
Yeah, because I made a note, because he mixes it up. I put a BFG mixing the dream as like a scientist coming up with a cure for some illness. He takes it so seriously. He's
Yeah.
like, okay, a little tiny drop from here and a little tiny drop from here. And then he mixes it using what in my mind, it's not in my mind. It's in the picture. Grandma had an egg beater that looked just like that. You spun the handle and so I was immediately brought back to making pancakes with Grandma as he was mixing up the
the hand powered one. Yeah. I remember using it too.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
So
Works
the
great.
whole mix in the dream thing, so he can make a dream whatever he wants it to be, which is
Yeah.
really cool. And so
Yep.
when he goes into here and she's asking, can you make a dream where 9 giants go eat children? He goes, yeah, I have all the pieces and
Absolutely.
parts. I just got to put them together and
Yep.
finding them. So the first mix in the dream is him finding all the pieces and parts, finding whether
Yep.
it's Queen of England, little girls, little boys getting eaten, little girls getting taken, and all this craziness,
Giants and shit.
giants and shit, and then does
Yep.
exactly what you said, puts them like a cauldron.
It looks like just a big jar.
Okay,
Like he just takes a real big
big
jar.
jar. Okay, yeah, because I didn't have the book. I had this audio book.
Yeah, it's just a real big jar.
Oh, it's a real big jar. Yeah, that's
It's
a
a real
real
big
big
jar.
jar.
Yeah.
I can't remember if he takes like little pieces of it or he takes the whole thing.
Like when mixing it together or
Yeah,
when
we'll mix them
so
together.
he grabs the jars and kind of like tips little bits in. So
Oh,
like a little
okay,
blob will fall out into the
okay.
like big jar that he's mixing and then he just mixes it all together there.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. And
From
then
the
I think it was
pictures.
kind of cool. He talks about after he gets the perfect dream, or I guess in this case, a nightmare,
Yes.
because it's gonna be a nightmare.
Yes, this is not happy.
He like lets the rest of it go. I think he lets the rest of it go because it's all bits and pieces of dreams, and he lets it go. I thought
I don't
he's
remember
got
that, but that
leftovers.
doesn't mean it didn't happen. He does
Sure.
have, yeah, so he does let them go. Yeah, they started flowing towards the cave entrance, and she asked where they were going, and he said they're the tiny little dream bits that I isn't using. They is going back to the misty country to join up with the proper dreams.
Heck yeah, heck yeah.
And then Sophie goes, "It's all a bit beyond me."
Yeah.
Same girl, same.
Yeah, news to me too. The next two are kind of, I mean, they're eventful, but they're not really, there's not a lot that happens, I want to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's them going to London, running there, and then she
But
gives him directions when he gets lost.
he puts
Yeah,
her
she's in his
in
ear this
his
time.
ear
Just, I
to
don't know
keep
how I
her
feel about that.
warm,
Yeah, that's true.
but he has to be she has to whisper.
I don't know if you can see it there, but just she looks like a flea on him.
It does.
Like
She really does.
it's just wild. But yeah, so I mean they go floating and then they're like running behind the giants too. They leave right after the giants do basically.
Yeah,
And then they just float over to London and then he gets lost because he doesn't go to London that often and he
right.
doesn't know where the palace is. He's not like looking for it. Yeah.
But also he's trying to stays away from busy places. London's busy. He goes to little
Yeah.
villages where Sophie
Yeah.
is.
Exactly. He doesn't want to get caught anywhere, which fair.
I get.
Yep. So she gives him directions and then he just like disappears and she's like, cool. Like, all right. Didn't know that
Yeah.
was a thing.
Yeah, he places her on the windowsill and
Yep.
then he kind of dips behind a building or something.
Yeah. Just
Yeah, 'cause
disappears
he's
for a
like
little bit.
30, 35, 24 feet tall? 24 feet tall.
Yeah. 24, I think.
24 feet tall. So now we get to chapter 19.
Yep.
We get to the queen herself.
I was dying at this because she wakes up and sees a little girl on her windowsill and she's just so chill about it. She's like, huh, what you doing here?
That's weird.
How'd you get in my bedroom? That's
Her
strange.
attendant is less enthused, is less calm about it.
She's freaking out a little bit, which
What are
yeah.
you doing in here?
Yeah, she's like, oh my God. She's like, go chill out. Like, leave me alone. Go calm down.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the queen chats with is kind of actually before she sees Sophie, she says,
Oh yeah, it's Mary.
Mary, oh Mary.
Mary.
She talks about I had the most loathsome dream, and
Yeah.
they start discussing the dream and that they ate these children and all this craziness. Like, oh,
Yeah.
it's fine. It's just a dream and
You're
nothing.
fine.
It's
Yeah,
okay. You'll
everything's
be
okay.
fine. Well, then that's when she
Yeah.
sees Sophie and
Yep.
realizes, oh damn,
That was real.
this is actually kind of real.
Yeah.
And then when she actually confronts Sophie, they start talking.
Yep.
Sophie's like, they also go eat people from other countries. And that's when Queen starts phoning kings and queens and prime ministers from all over the country.
I made a note. It cracked me up because she called 3 people. She was like, okay, I'm going to see if children have been taken from this country. And the person's like, sure have. She's like, cool. I'm going to call the second one. Sure have. Third one. They have in fact been taken. Well, it's sold. Yep. The 3 people confirmed it. Everyone is now getting eaten by giants. We are done. No more further research needed.
Yeah. Everyone's being eaten by giants. Like,
yep.
Okay.
Yep. She was like three phone calls, and yep, I firmly believe giants are real.
We
children
need
are being eaten.
3 or 4 pieces of evidence.
I was just like,
Oh.
that's kind of minimal for the scale of
The world scale.
the
He was eaten by
problem. Yeah,
giants. Yeah.
like 3 countries. You're like,
That's
out of God, I don't even know how many we have in the world. There's a lot.
150-ish.
So the percentage there is roll low.
Yeah.
Roll low.
I'm not sure
So
either.
I was I mean, regardless, it's a low percentage, and I was like, ma'am, should we do a little more research before? I mean, we shouldn't because this book is good, but should we do a little more research here? But all right, yeah.
So the queen is introduced to BFG at the end of that chapter.
Yes,
and
he was very dignified with his approach.
Dignified with his approach.
Dignified. Yeah.
The queen invites her, Sophie, and the large guest, BFG, to the royal breakfast. Royal with a trilling R.
Yes.
Yes. We hop over to chapter 20.
Yes.
I feel all Britishy now because they're in England.
That's fair. I'm trying to see where
it's called the Royal Breakfast.
The Royal Breakfast. I'm trying to see where this is in the chapter.
What is this?
Because I literally Googled something for this chapter because I was not believing it. So it says there's someone in the chapter that's drinking a morning glass of light ale. So I was like, are they legit drinking like a breakfast beer, or is ale something else over there? It's the butler.
Yeah, I think that's actually a thing.
The butler in this chapter is drinking a morning glass of light ale. And I was like, there's no way he's just sipping on beer before he starts his shift. Like, I was like, no way. Nope, it's in fact beer. I said, it must be a stressful job.
He's got to make everything perfect for the most not so powerful person in the world.
Yeah, I'm trying to find, because I think it's pretty early on.
The Queen of England
figurehead. It's in the second paragraph.
Yeah, I remember him talking about that.
Yeah, I was like, it's got to be like some like brewed something or other, but not a beer. No, it's straight up beer.
Yeah, it's an ale. All right. Yeah. Well, I mean, you have functioning alcoholics.
This is true.
Not saying he's a functioning alcoholic, but maybe it's low. Maybe it's low in alcohol.
Probably Coors 5%.
Maybe, I don't know idea. Also, I think over in England, it's not as risque.
Yeah, it's not as taboo
to be drinking on the job. I don't know. I don't freaking know.
I was like, damn, dude.
I'd be sophisticated.
I wish I could just drink a light ale with breakfast and go to work. They'd get mad at me.
Says you can't. You can't get caught.
I mean, I do work from home. They can't smell it on my breath.
Right. If they can, they're closer than you want them to be.
Yeah, that would be rough. Like, why are you here?
Why are you here? This chapter made me hungry. It was called
There's a lot of food in it.
There is. It's called the Royal Breakfast. And this butler, head butler, or whatever the hell he is now assigned from the Queen to set up a table, chair, and breakfast to feed Sophie, the Queen, and their large guest.
BFG. Yes. BFG. They're putting together all of this furniture, trying to stack furniture to accommodate the large guest. And so there's a point where they're putting a piano and a dresser on top of it. And I was like,
I thought it was pretty smart.
I thought, but I was like, wouldn't the piano like break? Like, wouldn't that top part break? I actually Googled this too.
You did. Look at you.
Apparently pianos, I was like, I gotta figure this out because otherwise I'm going to be thinking about it for far too long. So, I thought the piano would break when he sat on it too. I was like, if the piano's his chair and this 24-foot thing is sitting on it, like apparently they're like super, super strong. They can hold like tons of weight on them without breaking. Yeah. And I was like, all right, I guess he'd be fine.
I wonder if they're made of like cast iron.
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't write it down at least.
I would think wood. Like the top would be wood, maybe.
I guess there's
as long as you don't have things slamming on it, I would imagine it would be okay.
Yeah, because I'm like a dresser and a human being, or not a human being, a giant on top of it. I was like,
human being.
That thing's gonna, a human being. I was like, he's gonna sit on it, it's gonna break. Nope. Apparently, even in real life, that would not happen. So
interesting. I love how the butler did. I remember the math part.
Yes,
he's approximately 8. What did he say?
Let me
8
find it.
times
Okay, so everything
24
Mr. Tibbs
foot.
told himself must be multiplied by 4.
by 4.
Because if a 6-foot man requires a chair with a 2-foot high seat, and a
Thank you.
24-foot giant will require a chair with an 8-foot high seat. Everything must be multiplied by 4. 2 breakfast eggs must become 8. 4 rashers of bacon must become 16. 3 pieces of toast must become 12, and so on. These calculations about food were immediately passed on to Monsieur Papillon? I don't know, the royal chef.
Papillon.
That one. Yeah.
Papillon.
Papillon.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah. Papillon.
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 Please.
It's cool. There's a lot of letters for a very few amount of syllables. Papillon.
Yeah, because I'm like, this looks longer than I think it should be.
Probably a French chef.
Yes.
Yeah, I love the fact that he, kind of rationalized it with math. I'm like, yes, this
Yeah.
is great.
I love
He
that.
figured that out, got everything set up, and then, but the food thing I think was wrong. You probably needed
Very much so.
like not quadruple, but maybe I don't know, times it by 10.
I would say 8 to 10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
8 to 10, because he required many, many eggs and many, many bacons.
They ran out, actually.
Yeah, they ran out, and all the bread, they ran out of all the food. He was absolutely hunky-dory, super happy with the food because it wasn't Snozcombers.
He was thrilled.
Yes, he was
There's
thrilled.
also, before that, he ran into the chandelier. I just got to that picture.
I forgot about the chandelier.
I did too.
Yeah, he had to
it's like-
squeeze his ass through the. Oh yeah, there it
Yeah.
is. He ran
Yeah.
his head right to that nice chandelier. Probably,
There's a lot of
been
rain.
around since the beginning of the English Empire. Who knows?
After BFG starts talking, the queen goes, does he always speak like that? And Sophie goes, quite often. He gets tangled up with his words.
He does. And this is the funny part I love, is that she's now his interpreter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's been what? 3 days? 2 days?
Did they go through a night? Or no? Yeah, because
because the giant slept a couple times.
I think so. It's been 2 nights. So I think 3 days.
Yeah, I think that's right. That sounds right.
Because he picked her up the one night. They spent that one day together. The night they spent the next day so yeah, this is day 3, I think.
Okay, that's why I thought.
Yeah.
Day 3 or 4, whatever. So at this point, he is being interpreted with his weird language by Sophie. She at one point gets very irritated with his language.
Yeah, he is needing bicirculars and telescopes to see what's going on at the other end of the room.
They bring in coffee for him, and he thinks it's absolutely disgusting.
To be fair, black coffee is not fantastic. I will drink it.
You have to have the right black coffee.
Also true. I also have to be in the right mood for it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Gotta be bitter, like the coffee.
Yeah.
Just an FYI, found something out. Black Rifle Coffee Company. Okay. They are amazing. I've had a couple of theirs now. I will drink them black.
I have been wanting to try criminal coffee.
Who?
What? Criminal coffee.
Criminal coffee. So good it's criminal?
Coffee. Yes. I haven't tried it yet, but one of my favorite true crime podcasts is Crime Weekly. And so they made criminal coffee. And so all of the proceeds from criminal coffee go to helping solve cold cases.
I would say helping criminals commit crimes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sorry,
solving cold cases. Cool.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So they actually were able to solve one. They identified a body that had been unidentified for like 50, 60 years plus. They thought it was a woman. It was not a woman. It was a man. Yeah. It was Preble Penny. They thought it was a girl, and it was like Albert. I want to say his last name was like Frost or something. Yeah.
They didn't have the hip. Wild. They didn't have the pelvis, huh?
I think it was a younger man, and they just thought that it was a woman. I don't know. I would have to re-listen to the episode, but
okay.
Yeah, I want to try their coffee because I love the two of the hosts, and I would love to, donate to that shit. But
okay, yeah, no, but Gunship and a Scapegoat are the two I've tried. Gunship is really good. So they're not cheap though, but it's veteran owned, veteran run, and I think proceeds go to veterans. So. Anyway, good stuff.
Top notch.
Yeah, top notch, top shelf.
Top notch. Okay, I'm trying to. Oh yeah, and the BFG picks up a shovel to eat his food with.
Oh yeah, he got a spade. Clean this spade off. The butler's
garden spade.
Clean this spade off. Oh, I see him talking like this. Oh, being all sophisticated, not even opening his mouth all the way.
So, have you seen The Great Muppet Caper?
I can't say that I have.
Oh God, I was hoping you had, because it's when the Queen is talking to the King of Sweden,
Mhm.
Um, so they're talking very, like, nonchalantly about the whole thing,
Yeah.
and so it reminds me of The Great Muppet Caper because Miss Piggy tells Kermit he thinks she's some, like, high-rise model or something, and she's an intern, so she decides to tell him that she lives in some big mansion on he's like, "Oh, you probably live on, like, Highbrow Street or something," and she's like, "Yep, absolutely," and she's like, "But you can't guess the number," and so he just says a number, and she's like, "Oh my god, you guessed it," and so she just has him go there, and it's this elderly rich couple that talks super nonchalantly about the whole thing, and
Sure.
they're like, "Oh, I just think I saw a pig scaling the side of the building," and they're like, "Huh, that's weird. I thought all the pets had died," and, like, it's just so nonchalant that's immediately what my brain went to is like these people just so nonchalantly talking about all of this crazy shit that's going on. They're like, "Oh, I
About
thought,
giants eating
oh,
children,
it,
and
yeah, just like, yeah,
I
okay,
think
that's
like
fine."
royal dignitaries, families, and everything too. I
It's
think
just why I was like,
was it like the
immediately I
king of
thought of,
Baghdad or something.
yeah, I'm like,
They
they've
taste like
got
bags. I think that was one of the like
freaking wild.
Panama people taste like hats. Because
Yes,
we learned that the Panama
Panama
is
is
a
a hat.
kind of hat.
Yes.
Mind blown.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here's the king of Sweden. It's good morning. Is everything all right in Sweden? Everything is terrible. There's a panic in the capital. 2 nights ago, 26 of my loyal subjects disappeared. My whole country's in a panic. And it's like, your 26 loyal subjects were all eaten by giants. What do they taste like? Of Swedes? Because Swedes of Sweden have a sweet and sour taste. So says the BFG. Like, they're just so not. And they're like, oh, well, they've eaten mine
Yeah.
as well. So, oh, who's they for heaven's sake? Giants. Okay. And then he's like, are you feeling all right? It's been a rough morning. Like, it's just.
It's been a rough morning. As you get older, I feel like there's no fucks given anymore. It's just like
Yeah.
anyway, so they at the royal breakfast, they finally decide to discuss what to do about the giants.
Yes.
So the royal breakfast ends, and then
Yes.
so begins the plan. Now,
After calling the head of the army and the head of the Air Force. Yes.
who are delightful folks, it sounds like.
It seems like it.
So what was the plan again? It was basically follow the BFG with Sophie
Yes.
in hand and go capture the
Ye
giants
Yep.
with what did he call them? Belly floppers?
That sounds right. Let me
Belly
see.
floppers. Grab
Belly
your
flop.
belly floppers.
Where is BFG? Hold your horseflies. Keep your skirts on. I think I has the answer to the
I
maiden's
has
hair.
the answer.
I did make a note that the 2 military men are just, like, pissed off that they're taking orders from a giant. They're, like, so sassy about the whole thing.
If he was a king giant, they would have no problem with this.
True. So it was belly poppers. You were very close.
Belly poppers.
Yes,
I
he was
put
having
them
belly
in
poppers, is
belly
he not?
poppers. Yes,
And the
you
head of
know.
the Air Force says, "Is he being rude?" And Sophie said, "He means helicopters."
Is he being rude? Grab your
Whoopsie
belly
big belly
poppers.
poppers.
I mean, maybe he thought he meant like pot-bellied pigs.
Maybe.
I don't know. Grab
Yeah.
your pigs. Follow me.
I
I don't
mean,
know.
I'm like, if someone said belly poppers to me, I'd be like,
That wouldn't be rude.
jeans? I'm like, I would just be trying to figure out what they
Belly
meant
poppers. I would almost think lollipops for some reason.
or something.
I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
know.
like, I don't know that in this
A belly
situation, I
popper.
was like, obviously he means helicopters, but like
Yes.
in a normal like talking situation, I don't know if I would be
Well,
like,
right.
obviously it's
The
helicopter
context, yeah.
is
In the
important.
context,
Yes.
we're like, it's gotta be helicopters. And we were right. We
Yes.
were right. The whole dealio is they want to go there while they're sleeping
Yes.
and pick them up and bring them to England.
I think that's about, or don't they put them in a big hole
Well, yeah, but the whole idea was to bring them to
in
England.
England? Yes.
Yeah. And they
Yeah.
want to put them in a big hole because apparently they don't want to kill the giants, even though the giants have killed probably several thousand, if not more people.
I wouldn't feel bad about like shooting a rocket at them. I'd be like, yeah, all right. Drop a bomb. It's fine. Like, who
Drop
cares?
it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
Just, oh yeah, if we is leaving now, we will be arriving just as the Giants is having their afternoon snozzle.
Schnozzle. Afternoon schnozzle. That's either going to be a snooze or a sandwich or a snack.
That's true.
In this case, it's a snooze,
snack.
everybody. A snack. Who doesn't love a good schnozzle? I schnozzle
like a
every now and
snack.
then. I like a snack and a schnozzle.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
nice.
What was it? Oh, snogging in Harry Potter.
Yes.
Snogging means making out,
Yes.
which is not snozzle.
Different.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I heard that, I was like, That's fake, right? Like that ain't normal.
I don't know. I haven't looked it up, but I think it is. I don't know.
It is, yeah.
It is? Okay.
If it pleases you. Oh, okay. I thought that the queen asked to ride with BFG, but
Nah, the queen's too
incorrect.
posh for that shit.
Yeah. I was like, why don't I remember that? But it's Sophie asking the queen if she
Oh,
can
yeah.
ride with BFG. And she's like, sure.
Yeah, it doesn't, skin off my ass. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna be in my royal castle sipping tea while you
Chilling.
guys go do the hard work.
I don't have to be involved.
Yeah.
I also love is they're all flying in and they have the map and then they go off the map and
Yeah.
there's no more map.
Yeah.
And the guy's
He's
like,
gone off the map. Well,
yeah,
turn the
like,
atlas. Turn the
yeah.
page. There's
It's
no
blank.
atlas. It's blank.
I don't know what to
That's
do.
why there's 2 blank pages, so you can fill in the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
You're
like a
darn right it isn't in the
revelation.
atlas. We
That
flew
was
clear off the last page.
Yeah, that was the revelation of it all. I was like,
Oh god, I love that.
oh God, that's so funny. So yeah, they follow the BFG through, and they're like, the one army guy is pissed at the Air Force guy because the Air Force guy is flying the helicopter,
Yeah.
and the Air Force guy is apparently a young guy, just eager to see the world. And see the world, it's not even on the map
Chilling.
atlas. Yeah, we're seeing the world.
Yeah. Duh.
We're seeing
I thought it
beyond
was
the
funny
world.
too. So my book does not have a chapter 22.
Oh, really?
So it says chapter 22 is capture.
Yeah.
Do not have a title page.
Weird.
Threw me off a little bit.
That's
I was
weird.
like, yeah. Because
That's weird.
I was looking because so you can tell this is the end of a chapter, right?
I see.
Next page.
Balzac.
Yeah. So I was reading this and it was like I was looking up or no, I think I was looking I don't remember what I was looking at. Hold on. I think it was the contents. It says capture and I was like, I don't got that.
Someone screwed up in the printing process.
Fire him.
Fire 'em. Fireball.
Yeah, so that threw me off a bit.
Yeah, well,
it's all
there you
good.
go. That would throw me off a bit too.
Yeah.
I
I was
don't
like,
blame you.
where's the chapter?
No, I don't blame you. It's
No
make
longer
your own.
exists.
Make your own now. Make your own story.
Pencil it in.
Pencil it in, right?
Yeah. So
yeah.
you go.
Okay. You go. Your
You
turn
go.
now.
Your
Your turn. I'm done talking. You've been on the
Mowing
phone
the
all
lawn.
day. You've been on the phone all day.
Every time it rang, I was like, son of a bitch. Okay, all right. It's fine.
Yeah, I feel like that way too. I'm like, what do you want? Hello.
Every time at the PT office when it would ring, I was like, oh God, what's gonna happen? Okay, thank you for calling. How can I help you?
All right, let's start
Oh,
this
Jesus.
chipper machine and let's go for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we get to the capture and they actually show
Yes.
up all the wonderful, lovely giants are laying down asleep, snoring, looking ugly as hell, passed out, drooling, all the cool stuff. And
Yep.
then what happens is they've got to tie up the giants with chain or rope or something and get them all captured and lifted by the helicopters.
Yes.
Something happens though.
Yes.
Prior to this, they go to Flesh Peter. He
Yes.
wakes up for some reason, doesn't he?
Yes. So he was the last one they were tying up.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yes, the ninth, who happened to be Flesh Eater, was causing trouble for the soldiers because he was lying on his right arm, tucked underneath his body. So it was impossible to tie his wrists and arms together because it was under his body. So they tried to pull his arm out, but he woke up.
That's right.
And he thought it was Manhugger, and then he saw the soldiers. So then all of a sudden he's like grabbing the soldiers and stuff. And he says, human beings, what all you flush bunking rot some half-baked beans doing in our country? I is having early suppers today.
I is having early suppers. And so how do they calm the hell down? Oh, Sophie. Okay.
Sophie. Well, she screams at BFG to do something, but he distracts him. I don't remember what he like tries to distract him at least. But Sophie grabs I think it's a hat pin, and she just like stabs him in the ankle,
That's
like right in the
right.
Achilles tendon.
And the BFG says you got bit by a snake.
Yep. I see it. I seed it biting you. It was a frightsome poisnouse viper, a dreadly dungerous vinscreen viper.
Windscreen wiper.
Yep.
Oh
So
my God,
they
that's
had
right.
to get the viper's teeth out at once, otherwise you're deader than duck soup.
Deader than duck soup. I hadn't seen many live ducks in the duck soup.
No,
Yeah.
not
All
many.
other meals that I have. Usually the animals I eat are dead.
That would be ideal.
Ideal. For both
To eat.
me and the animal.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Very
Just
accurate.
saying. But whatever.
So yeah,
Each his
BFG is
own.
like, "Oh, I gotta put this anklet on to stop the poison." And I'm like, "God, this guy is like not BFG, Flesh will be." I'm like so dumb. Like, "Oh yeah, for sure. These other 8 giants are tied up. Please give me an anklet. That
It's
sounds
fine. It's
fantastic."
fine.
Yeah. So
You
I was
gotta
like,
save my
"Whatever."
life. You gotta save my life.
Exactly. So he's like, "Yeah, wrap your arms around your ankle and I'm gonna tie it all up together." And he's like, "Fantastic. I love this idea." So BFG's like, "Yeah, please give me the rope ASAP," trying to signal to these guys. And so they give him the rope, tie him up, and
Haul their booties
boom,
out of there. Yeah, and then they tie them up all the booties. And what I
all them
love
booties.
is they don't talk about flying across the landscape back to London. But
No,
when you watch the movie, they show a wide view of all the
incredible.
helicopters, and they're all in like weird, like they got one foot tied to one hand, one foot untied, so they're weirdly placed, and it's just all awkward as hell flying back. And there's these ugly giants being flown, just like that. So I guess they do have it. That's so
Yeah, they don't
funny.
mention it, but they have the drawing in it. Yeah,
Yeah, they show it in the movie, and it's actually
that's
the movie is
awesome.
actually really close to the book. I
I
was
need to
very
watch
close.
it.
It's
I
actually
forgot it
really good.
existed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you should go watch it. I would recommend watching it. It's
I
not one that
will.
was like Hugo. That one was not good for what the
I was
book.
worried about that one.
Yeah, I didn't watch. I watched it and I was very disappointed. But
Yeah.
BFG was actually very well done. I approved of it. Okay, so they have captured ye olde giants, and now chapter
Yes.
23 is feeding time. So while they were away, I don't know how long they were gone for. It couldn't be very long.
It was like either a full
Day?
day
Say it was a
because
day.
it says when it began to get dark, the helicopters switched on their lights, but they flew right through the night and arrived in England just as dawn was breaking.
Okay. Okay. So
So
about probably they left about lunchtime ish, and then maybe dinner time. I don't know. Came back the next day.
I think they left right after breakfast because they had, or maybe
That's
after around lunch.
that is some serious active time or reactive time.
Yes.
Holy crap, we are prepared for war. I
Let's
can move
go.
now. I mean, I think
9
that's actually
giants. Got them.
9 giants. Let's go shoot. Let's go take these suckers down.
Yes.
Somehow they convinced the army guy not to blow them to smithereens.
Don't know how that happened, but
I don't know.
probably bribed him or something. Who knows?
Probably,
But
probably.
Yeah.
Anyway, you knows. So they get him
You know.
to back to England, and while they were away, they just made this huge hole, gigantic hole,
Yeah.
ground to hold 9 giants.
Yes.
One of which is 54 feet tall. You got to think the guy can probably jump.
You would think, but
Yeah.
maybe it's like our family with limited vertical jump.
I don't know. I'm okay.
Oh, I am not. Mom is
Chris
not.
is okay.
Okay, so it's just the women.
I guess. I guess.
I got
Chris-
strong legs, but I do not have a jump.
Like Chris can jump pretty well.
I don't see
I
him jump
don't-
often.
Well, I don't jump often anymore either. But when I was younger, I knew I could jump okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't jumping over pole vaults or doing anything terribly fancy, but
Nah.
I can jump enough. All right, so they drop off the giants in a very odd, suspiciously quickly dug hole.
I have many questions, but
yeah.
twice the size of a football field and 500 feet deep.
Right, that's insane. No, not in
Do you
24
just have
hours.
a real big industrial drill that you just like
I mean,
went in? Like, I
they
don't.
do have those, but they don't take. They
But I'm
take
like
a
that.
long time,
Yeah,
long
that's what
time.
I'm saying. That's
Everyone
crazy.
grab your shovels and buckets and let's go to work on digging a hole. Like, I mean, what the hell?
Well, and the funny thing
500 feet's
is,
ridiculous.
yeah, I can't even like visualize what that would look.
I can visualize about 80 feet. Nah, that's about it.
I can visualize like a real tall building, and
That's
I'm
a good
like,
point.
yep,
That's a good,
that's tall.
that's tall.
Yeah, that's
Down
tall.
underneath we gotta move a lot of dirt.
No, dirt.
Where did they put the dirt? So many questions.
I don't know. And those English guys' hats. That's where they put them.
Yep.
I don't know.
Keep them upright.
Yeah.
Keep them fluffy.
Yeah, keep 'em
And
fluffy.
keep 'em fluffy. And the funny thing is, so they lower the giants into the hole,
Yeah.
but now someone has to go down and untie the giants
Yeah.
in this 500-foot deep hole with 9
Yeah.
man-eating giants.
Yeah.
So no one wants to do it.
What? Hazard pay.
I better be getting a big ass bonus for that, dude. Damn.
No joke.
But BFG goes, giants don't eat giants.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I
Send my
got this,
butt down
guys.
there, boy.
I can do this. And they're all screaming at BFG.
You did this, you foulsome, loathsome, something, other words that aren't real.
They decide they're going to feed the giants snozcumbers. And the queen is like, can I get a piece of that? And BFG's like, trust me, you don't want to. And she's like, I think I do, though.
Does she actually eat it, or does he like, nah, you ain't eating this?
I can't remember, because he's like, don't do it. He says it is tasting of trog, filth, and pig swibble. And with because then he just threw the snozcumber down to the giants.
Okay, I was like, I don't think
there's your
she
suffer.
tasted it.
No.
Yeah, you guys get your suffer. Yeah, and then I think he even tells her how to grow the snozcumber so they have a constant supply of food for the giants.
I was just about to say that, because she was like, what are we going to feed them when these are all gone? Like, you only grabbed so many. And he said, they is never being used up, Magister. I is also bringing in this sack a whole bunch of snozcumber plants, which I is giving with your permission to the royal gardener to put in the soil. Mm-hmm. Then we's having an everlasting supply of this repulsant food to feed these thirst bloody giants. And she calls him a clever fellow.
All right, so feeding time is over. Everyone's happy as whatever giants do when they're happy. I don't know.
Drink that carbonated stuff and fart.
Yeah, and fart.
I guess.
Froz Scubble, or I can't remember anymore. Anyway, then I love this last one. It's so cool.
It's my favorite chapter, I think, of the whole thing.
I think my favorite's between the mixing of the dream.
I did love that one too.
And the Frobscottle one was funny to me too.
It was pretty funny.
Anyway, this one is fun because it kind of reminds me of the last one of Hugo. It kind of ties them together. It's like, oh,
that's exactly what it's very Hugo-esque.
Very. It just felt good of wrapping it up. Yes. But basically, what happened was the BFG actually ends up going to school or becoming educated in the finest schools in England. Educated. Yeah. And he learns how to read, to write, to speak well. Yeah, just learns about all the manners and of the ons and goings of the world.
He read all of Charles Dickens.
He read
all no longer called Dahl's Chickens.
Yes, Dahl's Chickens. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. He read all the classics, I guess, and read all sorts of good stuff. And then he decided I'd write my own story. Yeah. And what is the last 2 sentences of the book?
Okay, so he said that he wants to give writing a book a try. And he didn't want to put BFG down because he wanted to use somebody else's name. He didn't want to put it. He was a modest giant. He didn't want to put his own name on it. And so, but where, you might ask, is this book that the BFG wrote? It's right here. You've just finished reading it. And then it's BFG looking all happy with himself at the desk. All nice and fancy. There's also the part in the author where all of the tourists come and want to see the giants. And they end up having to build a fence around it, saying, notice it is forbidden to feed the giants.
Because 2 people fell in and died.
They got eaten. 3.
Oh, 3
silly men who had drunk too much beer for lunch decided to climb over the high fence surrounding the pit. And of course they fell in.
Oh my God. Amazing. So yes, that's the end of the book.
Yeah.
It's very good.
I did write, because I had just finished writing the about the author when I finished this.
Yeah.
And so it was interesting to see little hints that he put about himself in the chapter. Like, someone had told him to publish a story, like Sophie told BFG to write a book. And then so he did, and he originally wrote one of his books for his children and then published it. And this was kind of for Sophie, who she saw him as a father figure, they say in the last chapter. And so I was just like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah. Yes. So good book, good story.
Yes.
I know I enjoyed it. So now we have to get down to the rating.
We do.
We do. So what
We
are we
do.
doing? We have, for those of you who've never heard before, any other episode before, we rated in 3 different ratings. We might get more complicated as we go on.
Maybe.
Yeah, I said maybe because I'm
Yeah.
lazy and we're both tired all the
Always.
time. So it's a
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
So we have the well, which means the well drink. When you think about alcohol, wells are usually used for mixes, not the highest quality, pretty low quality actually. So low shelf,
Yes.
bottom shelf or well is the first one, lowest
Yep.
you can get, mid shelf, and then top shelf, which is
Which is what you're aiming for.
you're aiming for.
That
That means
top
you've
shelf.
made a hit.
Hell
All right.
yeah.
Made a hit. All right. So what do you got, Ems?
So the first, like, I don't know what I'd put, like 4 or 5 chapters, I probably would have put it as mid,
Okay.
but just the words, if you're not like up on it or your brain doesn't work that way, is a little hard.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the way the story was put together, the just imagination that had to go in, or drugs that had to go into making this whole
The
world
shrooms.
is something.
Uh-huh.
Um, I think it ends up being, a top shelf book. I love the ending. I love all the
Yeah.
twists. I love the characters. Like
Mhm.
it's a good, happy, like a fun read
Yes, it
after you get
is.
used to the verbiage.
Oh God, yeah, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
I would tend to agree with you. Actually the audiobook, I listened to the audiobook the second time, this current
Mhm.
time, and then I read it the first time. As a kid, I never read the book, so I wish I
Yeah.
would have as a kid. I feel like as a kid, it would definitely be definitely top shelf. As an adult, you have to be willing to be childish or playful,
Childlike.
childlike. I'm like,
Yeah.
childish. You're childlike, and just
Yes.
enjoy a little naivete and enjoy the silliness of it all.
Naivete.
Yeah,
Yeah.
naivete.
Naivete.
Enjoy it for what it is. If you try
Yes.
to read this book at all seriously,
You're gonna
just
hate it.
don't. You're gonna hate it.
Yeah, just don't do it.
With the right mindset, it can be a top shelf book. I really enjoyed it. I'll probably read it again eventually, and I'll
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
push my kids to read it too. So,
Absolutely.
yes.
Yeah, I think if you can't put yourself in that like, if you're a very serious person and you don't like people
Yeah.
misusing grammar and stuff, don't even pick it up. Like,
No,
don't even think about it. Don't do it.
you will think it's absolute garbage, but it is, in my
Yes.
mind, it is a great children's book, top shelf
Agreed.
children's book. As an adult, it might be a little mid shelf just for you got to get in the right mindset. So,
Yep.
yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents on it.
Yep. Yeah.
Yes.
Once I got into it, I really, really enjoyed the childlike qualities in the book.
Mm-hmm.
It made me feel a little bit more relaxed, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay, this is nice." Like,
Yeah.
I feel like
It's
a little kid again. And then I had to go work, and I was like, "Ugh."
well, work does that to you. Well, it also
Stupid.
a little different flavor from your standard enjoyment of murder. Murder.
I know mom's always like, "How do you listen to that?" And I'm like, "I don't know, I just
With my
do."
ears, of
Yeah,
course.
duh. Or I watch
Yeah,
it with my eyes.
with my eyes, and I listen to it with my ears at the
I do
same time.
both.
At the
Ha-ha.
same time. Ha ha.
That is YouTube.
That's the YouTube. The
Yeah.
YouTube. Excellent.
Documentaries. Yes.
And documentaries, yes.
Yes.
Well, excellent. All right. Well, I think
Cool,
I've
cool.
had a good time. You had a good time?
I guess.
Fine, I'll try to do better and be a better co-host.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll get there.
Yeah, thanks.
No.
Goals and dreams and such. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Share it, love it, go read the book. It's just good.
Please.
Even if you
They're good.
listen to this whole thing, you've never heard it before, or do like we do, wait a couple
Yes.
years, forget everything we said, and then read the book.
If you've got memories like we do, it'll be real easy.
Absolutely. Well, if you're just busy people,
Yeah, that too.
there you go. They come
Yeah.
for the banter. They come for the books. They stay for the banter.
Exactly.
That's what they do. That's top shelf quality right there.
That's what we bring.
We brought, mic drop. Don't drop my mic because then it will break, and I don't want to buy
Mine would probably be fine. It's a little sturdy.
Mine's sturdy. I just don't want to. It's new.
I mean, I don't want to drop it, but I think it would probably be fine.
Yeah, I don't want to drop either.
Yeah.
It's working nicely. I don't want breaking things that are gonna be broke. Anyway.
Anywho.
All right. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Bye,
Have a
Ems.
good time.
Love
Okay,
you.
Bye. Love you
I'll
too.
talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
We're really bad at this. It's okay.
Yeah, we're
We'll do this
amazing.
good. We are
Yeah.
so good. All right.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.